Hi there, my name is FixFox, and welcome back to Heroes of Might and Magic Olden Era. Today is going to be my first look at the Schism faction. Of course, the Schism faction is kind of this eldritch horror. There's lots of tentacles, there's lots of dark magic, there's lots of scary things going on here. And it's October, it's Halloween, it's kind of the spooky season. So today we're going to be taking a look at this eldritch horror faction that I have no experience with. I'm very excited to see how this goes. Chat is full of wonderful people. We got Roman, we got Clayman, and we got E-Bugle. Hey, Bugle. Nice to have you here. Welcome, welcome. It's a pleasure to have you all here. So with that being said, let's just dive right in because I don't really know what to expect. I have no idea what to expect out of this faction. And I think that unfortunately, while most people want to see a full game with classical mode on, of course, we got different modes we can use. Most people want to see classical mode, but if I'm going to be looking specifically at this one faction as a first faction sort of reveal, I am going to do single hero mode, so that way there's less extra things to sort of pay attention to. We're going to want to just pay attention here to this one hero. Let's make sure that we have, we can pick Harmony, Held Tight, or Memory Lane. I don't really want the huge size map at the moment. Let's just go for Harmony here. Let's see. Defeat the opponent's hero, seize their starting city to secure victory in the battle. Yeah, I think that this is the one we want. Held Tide is the one where their turns, there ends up being an automatic, everybody being drawn into the very center of the battle at some point. Yeah, we just want Harmony. And we are going to be playing as the Schism faction, a splinter faction of Ylwari, Ylwari being the Dark Elves. This group has delved into the depths of water through ancient Vori rites. Of course, the Vori being the snow elves that we are familiar with Jelyu. They possess the power to deny their opponent's abilities and magic while summoning ever-growing hordes of monstrous creatures to overwhelm their foes. Sign me up. And because I don't know any of these heroes from any of the other ones, let's just go for a random hero. Let's put this on apocalyptic difficulty. Let's just see how this goes. It looks like maybe we're starting off with this hero. Lots of these creatures here. I'm not sure who this is. Let's just dive right in. E-Bugle, hello. Don't promise to actually pay attention much today. Exciting to passively listen. Hey, it'll be really nice to have you passively listening. That sounds pretty good to me. And yes, by the way, what do you think about the still art images, folks? I really like the still art images from Olden Era. They seem pretty enticing to me. They seem pretty to look at. They seem fun to look at. Art is always a big part of any single game. Art is the difference between wanting to be wrapped up in something for hours and days, and art is the difference between not even being able to tell what's going on the battle or the adventure map. And so we're gonna have to wait and see kind of how the rest of this art shakes out, but for now I like the still images. They are pretty looking to me. Bambi's in the chat. Hey Fix, nice to have you here. And Clayman saying so many Might and Magic 8 references in such a few bit of sentences. Hey, I am going to rely on the Might and Magic fandom to let me know all of the references to Might and Magic 8, of course, this Olden Era game taking place on the continent of Jadame. Folks, we have John He. I'm definitely not saying that right. Whew. John Hay. We gotta get this figured out. John He. We're just gonna go John He right now. Let me know if there's a better way. Somebody can phonetically spell this out for me so that way I can say this most appropriately. This is going to be an Oathkeeper with 3 attack, 2 defense, 1 spell power, 1 knowledge, no luck or morale modifiers. Looks like we do have a special ability of being roguish. Cultists' growth in our cities increases by 1. Under this creature's command, cultists will gain the +1 speed, initiative, and 20% HP. And as we get stronger as a hero, we are going to level up the damage from our cultists. Very nice. There is also, by the way, in case you haven't seen it here, there's a little X button, and then right next to that, there's this little feather. Anytime there's feather, that is some additional fun flavor text. I lamented the fact that there hasn't been a bunch of flavor text recently. I'm still waiting for more flavor text for this demo build, but right now, John He fights to preserve his individuality against the Abyssal Pole. He joined the Schism not only to battle the Hive, but to shape a future free from the Rift's grasp. An adventurer and an opportunist, he seeks kindred spirits among the elves who refuse to yield, determined to forge his own path amidst the chaos. Very cool. All right, that sounds good for a cultist type of guy. And it looks like we're going to have a total of 21 of these cultists here. Very excited to see what these creatures will do. Standard the Peasant Killers in the chat. Hey there, nice to have you here. Yeah, we will try some Necro heroes as well as we get closer to the holidays. I think that's going to be perfect. Anything spooky, we're going to go for spooky absolutely all day, every day here. And good to see you as well, Sandra the Peasant Killer. E-Bugle believes it's Yan He. Yan He? Yan He. We'll figure it out. We'll figure it out. Folks, what do we think about this screen for the Schism faction? What do we think about this town screen? I think that this looks pretty good. Frozen Tundra Wasteland. It looks like there is definitely something big and creepy and crawly, frozen in the ice. Maybe at some point it's going to be unleashed. And then it looks like some flying tentacled creatures on the outside of there. I got to tell you, I love the background with the stars and maybe not really an aurora borealis, but the setting sun in the background. That looks pretty nifty to me. I do enjoy personally this Schism faction landing screen. We're going to go to construct and we're just going to see kind of what we have. It looks like with only 2,500 gold and no resources, we're going to kind of struggle to get anything. At this point, we could get a lesser summoning right. Apparently, that is going to give us the raw Shoths. Cultists, I'm guessing that these are our level 1 creatures, and maybe these raw Shoths, maybe these are our second tier creatures. It just seems reasonable to me anyway. Otherwise, in this castle, we do start off with 1,000 gold, 1,000 law points daily, +1 to the hero cap. So no purchases that we can really make at this time. Oh, and look, I could tell down here actually. So we start off with, let's see, what are these creatures? What are these creatures? Let's go to recruit creatures. So we have the raw Shoth, which is going to be the tier 1 creature. Looks like they're going to have 10 HP. They're going to do a flat 2-2 damage, 3 attack, 3 defense. Pretty slow on the initiative too. 4 speed, 4 initiative. This is a magical creature. They do have a melee attack. Oh, but they are flying. Very good. So flying raw Shoths. And then they have a special ability. They can summoning right, raw Shoth. Once per battle, summons a stack of raw Shoths on a friendly corpse's hex. The summon has 50% of the HP of the corpse's original stack and no more than the number of raw Shoths in the stack. These creatures are permanent and remain after the battle. Oh, we're going to be farming raw Shoths. Folks, I have a new goal. I have a new goal to farm these raw Shoths as much as possible. Oh my goodness. Now, it's a little bit of an issue because these are tier 1 creatures, and so you're not going to want to sacrifice your cultists or all these weird creepy crawly things. You're not going to want to sacrifice any other troops, but maybe if we get some amount of diplomacy, maybe if we get some creatures to join us, maybe we will sacrifice them to the Eldritch God, and then the raw Shoths can bring some additional forces to bear. I think that that'd be pretty cool. So I like it. I love it. And we're going to start off just by purchasing these forces. Sure, I would love to get up to 2,500 gold and 10 wood to get this Abyssal Remnant, but because this is a first look playthrough, I'm going to need all the forces I can get. Boryster's in the chat. Hello, Boryster. Nice to have you here. Sneaky Tuesday. Yes, it is. And I thank you so very much for the subscription. It's a pleasure to have you here. And we've got you here for a full year. Thank you so much for the time. It's always a pleasure to see you here. eBugle does like this screen as well, which makes me happy. Yeah, if it's not beautiful, if it's not fun to look at, we're not going to enjoy ourselves. So knowing that we only have this one hero right now, I do see a sawmill. I see it looks like wood storage there. This is the Goblin Cache. It's a one-time small reward, kind of like with the Jaybird Nest. There is a couple of these. It looks like these are the improved raw Shoths. Yeah, and they are guarding a Pandora's box. That might be a pretty easy battle we can take early. Maybe the Pandora's box is going to be really, really nice for us. Looks like there's a marketplace not too far away. Marketplace allows us to trade resources. That can be useful. If we can defeat, oh boy, a bunch of these Warden Gnats, then we can maybe do some other stuff. But for now, I tend to like to travel along the road. I like to try and get my sawmill, and I like to try and get my ore mine. So let's pick up 4 mercury, 600 gold. Let's grab the sawmill and another, let's call it 13 units of wood there. Aga'Shoth Stables. You can recruit Aga'Shoth riders in this dwelling. Their weekly growth increases by 1. I think that is one of the forces that we can get. This is our tier 3 creature. So we have an Aga'Shoth rider dwelling to the south there. We're going to be looking into playing with them in just a little bit. Also, though, I do kind of need to know, as I'm going into battle in just a moment or two, these cultists, my tier 2 creatures, it looks like they are living. It looks like they have a long reach, and it looks like they have another ability. So we don't have any ranged damage at this point. It's all melee damage. But we do have this Glance of the Abyss, which will curse the target enemy. First target takes 14 pure damage at the start of its turn. The effect is sackable. And if I do this, it looks like, yeah, so it'll take 2 times the amount of units that we have. So I think that what that means is that rather than have multiple stacks of these creatures here, I think that you want one big stack, because I think that this special ability, it's going to require some focus points. And so you're not going to want to be able to apply it in multiple stacks. You're going to want to have one big stack that can do bunches of damage with one of your focus points. Let's plan on using that for now in one big stack. And then just to make sure that things are fine. I find that single stacks of creatures can never possibly go wrong for me. But here's tier 3 creatures. And let's just continue up the road. Oh, gold storage, not a gold mine, but gold storage. We're going to ignore these Warden Gnats for a moment or two. Do see a magic scroll. And over here is my ore mine. So let's grab this magic scroll. Looks like it's 8 or another 6, another 5, and that object has been captured. What is the spell that we just picked up? We just picked up Enlarge Shadow, which is going to increase the attack skill and the defense skill of whatever creature is affected. As we level it up, it will impact the entire army, but for now it's just impacting the one. And folks, this Goblin Cache just gave us a free 3,000 gold. That's going to be enough to purchase, I believe, our Abyssal Remnant number 2. This is going to give us an additional 500 gold and 1,000 law points per day. I think that these law points are going to be pretty important. Sight unseen, let's just kind of take a quick peek at some of the things we can get. We can get tax collectors. For the Schism faction, we can get generational wisdom, so our heroes get additional XP. We can get resource riches, so a one-time bump in gold and ore and wood. We can get frozen homeland, so the attack and the defense of friendly creatures will increase when on native terrain, which I assume is snow, of course. And then we can get some elite raw Shoth. We will increase the growth in the cities, increase their initiative, and then unfrozen strength. My tier 1 creatures attack and defense will increase by 10% of their heroes attack and defense spell. Interesting. That's gonna be kind of nifty to see how we're able to use these faction laws to buff our forces. I always like gold. I love tax collector because free gold can never go wrong for you, especially at the early outset of the game. And then I do like this idea of generational wisdom. The experience just feels pretty nice to me. Buffing up your forces, yes, yes. Interesting that it's not just 1, but 2 buffs to your tier 1 creatures who you can also use to kind of demon farm and get a bigger stack of creatures. That's very interesting. I'm excited to see how that works. Okay, great. So we've made our purchase for the day. We are, it looks like, out of movement points. And folks, that's going to take us to the end of month 1, week 1, day 1, and we're going to go into day 2. Oh, eBugle says, are these like the civics from Civilization? Fascinating. Yes. So we have the new faction law points. We just picked up 2 because you generate faction law points by doing combat, and then you also get a passive amount from the castles that you own, and the amount of faction points from that passive income or generation is going to go up as you upgrade your main building. And so right now, picking up 2 faction law points here, we can pick up Tax Collectors 1. We will enact the law. We're down to 1 faction law point, but now we have an additional 250 gold per day. And I suppose I could go for this resource riches. I'm going to take a quick peek into my castle because I want to know if there's something that we really want to build. This Abyssal Remnant 3 for 5,000 gold, 10 wood, that could be useful. I like to go for early economy. Because of that, I'm going to go for this resource riches. I'm not going to gamble on myself. I'm not going to gamble that my hero is going to find everything he needs out there. We're going to just go straight for that, pick up 2,500 additional gold, 5 wood, 5 ore, and that's going to be our Abyssal Remnant 3. We're picking up at this point 2,250 gold and about 3,000 law points per day. Feels okay. Otherwise, let's just kind of go exploring. Let's go exploring. Yeah, you think that that's really neat? I tell you what, I do like the Civilization games. I didn't do nearly so good with Civ 6 when it came down to using the, oh, what do you call them? Not the mayors. It's the people that buff up your faction and you get to pick and choose which ones you want. I didn't do nearly as good of a job with them as I wish I did. I've seen some people do some really nice things with Civ 6, but I like the flexibility of you being able to choose what bonuses you want and what you would like to see have happen. That does feel great to me. We've kind of come to the end of the road here. These are the tier 4 creatures and some tier 3 creatures, it looks like. Griffins and the Hierophants for the Temple faction. We're going to stay away from them. We're also going to stay away from the Hoplets. These are the Hoplets. I forget what these guys are called, but these are the tier 2 Sylvan faction creatures. They're also a little bit too tough for us. I kind of want to travel along the main roads. Main roads tend to take you to other castles, and that always feels fine to me. I think I might just kind of go off-roading here and just go through the snow to get back to that main road, though. We'll do a little bit of exploring here. If we're just one step out of our way, we'll step on the abandoned mansion so we can kind of know what enemies we're going to have to deal with here. It's going to be in the abandoned mansion. Tons of skeleton archers, regular skeletons. It looks like some ghost stacks. And if you defeat these guards, then you are going to get, I believe, gold is what's going to be. Yes, gold and possibly a valuable artifact. But this is way too tough of a fight for us right now. We're going to ignore that until later. By the way, this is our Alchemist Lab. This is our Mercury Fisher, produces +1 mercury per day. I do wonder, yeah, it looks like for our tier 6 creature, I'm not sure what they are yet, but they are the Abyssal Envoys. They're going to require 15 ore. So having that ore mine nearby is actually kind of a big deal. That seems like this should be an early focus of ours. If we can get this, we can start working on the most important precious resource to get to our upper tier creatures. Let's plan on doing that as soon as we can. We found a Shoth dwelling, a lesser summoning rite. It's guarded by way too much though. These Mantis Reavers and wow, yeah, Mantis and Hornets, it looks like. That's way too much from the Hive faction. I'm not going to want to touch them anytime soon. With 4,200 gold, I think I'm kind of starting to run into a bit of a choice here. Do you want the gold or do you want the experience? I don't know the answer to that. I really don't, but I tend to rely on taking gold early on in other Heroes games when I'm on the most lean types of maps. So we're going to go with gold for now, but we're going to keep an eye out for whether experience is better or not. Oh, E-Bugle, it's the governors. Yeah, that's what I was saying. Yeah, the governors from Civilization, and they give you some different bonuses. I really do enjoy them. They're really fun to use. Tactical opportunities. If you're a game designer, I don't mind if you give me more opportunities to possibly fail, but also more opportunities to possibly have a tactical decision that will help me win the game. Folks, we just picked up our bank there. That's going to give us an extra 1,000 gold per day. Can you tell that Fix Fox likes his economy? Can you tell that I enjoy a very robust and happy economy? I sure hope that that's apparent by now. We're going to pick up the additional 500 gold, or rather 250 gold per day from Tax Collectors level 2. Some of these faction laws you can only upgrade once, and some of them have 2 dots above them, or in this case 3 dots above them, and you can upgrade them multiple times. So Tax Collectors is maxed out. Next up, I think we're probably going to go for this XP. Yeah, right. In week 1, I don't think I'm going to be doing a lot of fighting. I think that we're just going to take whatever resources we can. I think we're going to try and play this nice and safe, build up our main castle, and maybe build up our second main castle. We have the Castle of Endless Spire not too far away. And it looks like that there was no guardians in this castle. I don't know how I feel about that. Folks, I want you to let me know. How do you feel about that? I feel like every town and castle I take, there should be some creatures I have to fight. In this case, there was absolutely nobody. It was just me walking into this place for free. I feel like, even though tactically you might say, well, we don't need you to have to fight these creatures, I would still like to. I think that that'd be useful for me just to have a little bit of a fight there. Worth noting, so I think that we've just found a unique faction building in our little tech tree here. The Great Library will grant +2 knowledge to any visiting hero. That's pretty cool. +2 knowledge to any visiting hero. I'm excited to see. I guess that knowledge is going to play into a big role for our faction here. So much so, it almost makes me want to get a Mage Guild to unlock level 1 spells. Should we do it? Maybe not just yet. Maybe not just yet. But let's see if we can find 4 additional wood out on the adventure map, and maybe we can get the Abyssal Remnant number 2. Again, let's just try and avoid fighting for now. Generational Wisdom, I will pick up that. And now, folks, the tier 2 of our faction laws has opened up to us. We can get Ice Power, which will increase the spell power of our heroes by 1. We can get Survival Conditions, making our cities produce +1 wood and ore. Now, that's kind of nifty. I don't know how valuable that's going to be in the long run, but okay, +1 wood, +1 ore. Very good. Depth of Mind. Your Schism heroes restore 10% of mana each morning. Picking up a trend. Do you feel like the Schism faction is highly magical in nature? Plus spell power, additional mana, plus knowledge. Yeah. This is going to be a spell casting sort of a faction, I believe. And then we can do Unfrozen Strength 2. It looks like that is the improvement of Unfrozen Strength 1. This is going to impact our tier 2 friendly creatures attack. And I'm guessing that that is not just specific to our faction. I'm guessing that Unfrozen Strength 2 is going to be all tier 2 creatures. Pretty nifty there. All tier 3 creatures. And then, of course, we can upgrade our Cultists and our Aga'Shoth Riders. So, okay. Lots to do, lots to buy. And speaking of lots to buy, I'm going to purchase these additional 20 Shoths here in this army for now. And let's go adventuring. There's 5 to 8 wood. There's 5 there. We found a treasure chest, 825 experience. I'm going to take the experience. And for the first time in this game, we are going to level up. Advanced Abyssal Communion, basic sorcery, basic defense. So if you want to take negative 10% damage from basic attacks, you go for the defense. If you want to do additional spell point damage, that's probably what you want to do with the basic sorcery. And then every faction has a specific secondary skill that they start off with that is unique to them. For example, Temple has the Ascension skill. Triumvirate Strength for the Warlocks, of course, Necromancy for the Necromancers. It looks like in this case we have Abyssal Communion. So for the first time, I'm going to mouse over this, and it's going to tell me for Abyssal Communion, after each victory, battle victory, the hero increases their communion level by 1 up to a max of 2. At the start of each day, the communion level is halved. Each level increases the number of friendly Schism units by 5% until the end of battle. Okay. So if I'm reading this right, if you're able to fight battles, you're able to win battles, you're able to keep this stocked up, this your progress meter is going to stay tip top to the very top of its capacity, and the higher your communion level, the more free friendly creatures you're going to get on the adventure map. That's pretty interesting. 5% until the end of battle. So basic Abyssal Communion, that could be pretty nifty. As we level it up, it says after each battle victory, it's going to be up to a max of 3. Okay, good. So 5% times 3, I mean 15% additional troops every fight. That feels pretty good. Let's just go for this Abyssal Communion for now. And it looks like we have 3 sub-skills we can level up. Number 1 is Our True Home. Friendly Schism creatures deal 10% damage and take negative 10% damage on snow. Very good for clearing out our local area here. Comprehensible Depths. The maximum of communion level increases by 1. Well, that feels pretty good. That's an additional 5% of creatures. That feels pretty good. And then Call of the Void grants plus 5 maximum movement points per level of communion. Logistic maps. It's hard for me to tell exactly how valuable 5 extra movement points is. Let's just call it up to a maximum of 20. I think that like logistics has a sub skill where you get an additional 20 movement points per day. It does add up, but it doesn't feel as strong to me as one of these 2 choices. Given that we are brand new to the Schism faction, we're going to go for Our True Home. If for only no other reason, then I want to make sure I don't lose any fights, and 10% damage here and there could actually do an awful lot with that. So let's take a look at that. Let's see how that goes. E-Bugle, by the way, talking about this castle being undefended, they say, as I check this out, they say, I think it's fine to have an undefended town for story reasons, but in general, I prefer to have them guarded. Yeah, okay, so we're on the same page with that. Like, yeah, if there's a good reason for it, okay, I'm fine. I'm fine with it, but otherwise, I feel like I want to have a little bit of a fight. I don't imagine that the home castle the people there, I don't think that they're going to be fine with me just running into their town and taking all their stuff. And so I feel like there should be some sort of defense there, but if there's a story reason, that makes sense to me. Folks, we just picked up our Cultist Spire. That is going to give us our tier 2 Cultists, and this is going to be in castle number 1 of Banarach. And then back in Endless Spiral, the second castle that we took, I'm going to go for this Abyssal Remnant number 2. Gold and law points, can't go wrong. That's going to take us to the end of day 4. That's going to be on to day 5. Bammy says it's sometimes the case you don't fight creatures in neutral towns in certain maps on Heroes 3 as well, which is totally correct. It just depends. And it doesn't hurt my feelings at all, I guess. I'm just a stick in the mud. I just want to know that I earned this castle. That's me. Bammy says they need the spell proficiency to do all that summoning. The spell proficiency to do all the summoning. Which spell is that? Help jog my memory. We're going to go for the experience here, and we're going to level up. I feel like expert anything is better than basic anything. And I don't know how valuable offense and sorcery is. By the way, each hero in Heroes of Might and Magic Olden Era, they do have some specialities that they can get to depending on their faction and what type of creature they are, whether they are a might-based hero or whether they are a spellcasting hero. It looks like my Oathkeeper here, my might hero, can get Unbound, which is going to increase the level of all hero spells to their maximum. Whoa, that feels pretty good. You have a might-based hero that can get maximum spells? I mean, you're getting the best of both worlds. You're getting all of the might and the defense, and you can potentially also get this hero to be just impossibly tough to deal with. That's pretty cool. I like that. And then the other option is that the enemy will lose all focus charges at the beginning of each battle round. Now that's crazy. That's crazy too. Focus points are kind of the oh, they're the lifeblood of a lot of these battles. That's going to be interesting to see. I don't know if either of these is going to be easy to get. If these feel broken and overpowered to you, they are. And the issue is that they can be so powerful and broken, I think, because the developers have said to themselves, look, you're not going to consistently be able to get to either of these because your secondary skills offered to you are very RNG dependent. So best of luck. Best of luck. So given that these are really strong, I could go for either basic sorcery, which will take you into one, or basic offense. I can't quite tell. They're not doing a good enough job differentiating between the colors. You can just kind of barely see that the unbound symbol is kind of bluish and the unfeeling symbol is kind of reddish in this general area. I think that these are both blue. I'm going to go for Expert Abyssal Communion, though, and just see if something nifty can happen. We're going to have up to a max of 4 communion levels. Very cool. And then we have the Black Ice spell. Enemy spells cost +1 for the level of the hero's communion. So like an additional 4 to 6 spell points. Okay, not bad. And then this one, oh geez. Abyssal Pelagial. Communion level increases by 1 per victory in battle. That feels pretty good. If this translates directly to additional forces in a future fight, I think that we're going to want this one. We're just going to want as many forces as possible. And folks, have you noticed, this is not very common for me. I struggle to get this often. We've got our Mercury Fissure, we've got our Gem Mound, and we got our Crystal Vein all within just along this road here. That feels really, really good. There's a lot of games where I'm struggling to find all the resources I need. In this case, it looks like they've kind of wandered right into our lap. And the only thing we need to look for now is the laboratory so we can get some alchemical dust so we can upgrade all of our forces. So pretty nifty, pretty cool. I'm just gonna ignore some of these fights at the moment. I don't think I can fight them just yet. There is a learning stone. 1,000 experience does go an awful long way. I'm gonna go off-roading. We're going to pick up either Advanced Intelligence, Basic Primal Magic, or Basic Battlecraft. I believe with Expert Intelligence that your hero can actually learn all of the spells in all the schools of magic. There is no requirement to get Primal Magic or Nightshade Magic or Daylight Magic. I think that Intelligence is actually going to make me a better all-around spellcaster. I'm going to go with this Advanced Intelligence. I do like Basic Battlecraft because it allows you to get some bonuses when you wait on your turns in combat or whether you skip or defend. But for now, let's go with the Advanced Intelligence. And should we go for Genius, where our hero will immediately level up again? Should we go for Astrology, where we can learn neutral magic at lower levels? Or should we go for Eagle Eye, everybody's all favorite? Let's go for Genius. Let's go for Astrology. Neutral magics, let's just go for that. Let's just do that. eBugle asks, what are the symbols at the top right of each secondary skill? So top right, these are going to be the sub skills that are available to you. This is going to help us keep track of what we've already picked. So Abyssal Communion, our true home, and then also the Abyssal Pelagial, along with Astrology for the Advanced Intelligence. So that way you can kind of keep track of the skills you've already got. By the way, our hero has the Helm of Heavenly Enlightenment, +2 attack, defense, spell power, and knowledge. When you're playing on one hero mode, you get a couple of random artifacts. This is going to be one for us. Very nice, part of the Angelic Alliance, which should be familiar for all the Heroes 3 players out there. We did pick up the Enlarge Shadow spell a while ago. We also have these Rune Stone Shards, which makes all tier 2 spells available to the hero. What the actual hell? Whoa. We are way more powerful than I thought we were. We have all the tier 2 spells in the game. There's some good tier 2 spells out there. If for no other reason than we have Ice Bolt. We got just under 40 spell points, and we've got Ice Bolt available to us. I think that we should fight some fights. Not against these Kitten Horns. They're a little bit too tough for me to handle at the moment. But maybe we go for these Swordsmen. We go for this Cultist Spire, pick up some additional Cultists, and we're just going to start this little snowball. Snowball. Schism, snowball. We're gonna snowball our way to victory and just start small and start to do some limit testing. If we lose this game because we mismanaged our early fights, that's okay, because we're here to learn, we're here to have fun, and we're not pretending to be experts at everything, but we are here to have fun. I think that with these 2 points, I'm gonna go for the +1 on the ice power. Let's go into our castles. Let's go for the Aga'Shoth stables. That's gonna be our tier 3 creatures. And I do want my second castle to sort of work as well as it can into Resource Depot, Treasury, and such. Later on, I will use it to purchase troops, but for now, let's just go for these walls. Yeah, pretty expensive, but this will give me access in the morning to things like Treasury down the road. So we'll get these very, very soon. We are out of movement points. We have built everything we can. We are spending all of our faction points on to day 6. Ah, that answers that then, Beagle says. Ah, there you go. There you go. Oh, good. And I'm very glad when chat helps me out when I get distracted doing other things. So thank you very much to Soren Denmark, Dvami, and E Bugle for talking about the game and figuring out what's going on. Hello, Soren Denmark. Nice to have you there. Welcome, welcome. 20 to 49. Yeah, let's see how this goes. We're not going to let these guys run. I want to do some damage. It looks like we're going to lose 11 of these Shoths. That didn't feel too good. I want to avoid that if I possibly can. Let's try and put our single stacks in the front. And let's get them to eat the damage while our backline creatures do the best they can with whatever is left to them. A couple of nifty spells here. Number 1, Ice Bolt, really nice damaging spell. Fireball, always nice to have an AoE multiple target spell. Blink, I love to reposition with Blink. I think that this is an excellent spell. Anytime you have a shooter, good luck preventing them from jumping backwards 2 hexes and then firing fully in your face. Weakening Ray, removing all counterattack charges. I love that one. Shortened Shadow, pretty good, but kind of expensive for what it is. And I do like Crystal Crown because I like to play around with terrain a little bit. But overall, we got some good spells here. Happy for what we have here. Yeah, I think it's probably going to be Ice Bolt. Well, 125 points of damage versus 100 from the Umbral Grip. For 3 additional spell points, you reduce the enemy's initiative by 2 for 2 turns. You might just want the Umbral Grip. That might just be better for us. But let's let these enemies get a little bit closer. These are not just base level swordsmen. These are the guard captains. Guard captains are the ones with the double strike. So they actually do double the damage that we are usually expecting. Remember, we have no ranged creatures, but we do have a long reach with these cultists. So they can attack 1 hex away. Let's make a little bit of a fort. Yeah, a little bit of a fort with our Shoth here. Oh, and that's actually maybe good. This guard captain just got good morale. That means that these enemies are kind of going to split themselves up a little bit. That feels okay. Feels good. I suppose I could fireball. No, maybe not. Let's just do a quick Umbral Grip. We'll take out 8 of these creatures. We're going to lure the rest of them in. I'm going to try and keep this big stack somewhat safe if I possibly can help it. I don't think I can, though. Yeah, I don't think I can help it. I think that this is just kind of the way it is. Ouch. And then we're using our ranged attack here, or rather our long reach attack. 14 down to 3 of these swordsmen. They're going to take their turn. They're not going to kill 1 full of our Shoth. Very good. And then let's just skip and let these guys get closer into battle range. In fact, I'm going to sacrifice 1 single stack right to there, just to make sure that they do jump up and try and do some damage. Due to turn order, they're going to attack, and then our cultists are going to attack. Not once, but twice. 7 to 13 damage. Very good. Then can we kill 13? Maybe. We killed a lot of them, but it is going to cost us 1 Shoth. Okay. Overall, not too bad. Maybe there was an opportunity there to raise a stack of the Shoth with their special ability. Maybe I missed out on an opportunity there. Even if it was just 1, maybe that's how you squeeze every advantage from the adventure map as possible. Maybe that was a missed opportunity. We're going to have to keep an eye out for that. So we're going to pick up a whole bunch of extra cultists. We're up to 13 cultists. That feels like a lot. I don't know if it actually is a lot, but it feels like a lot. And because we've got creatures back at home, kind of south along this road, I sort of want to go that direction. Vine Iriads and Druids, I bet I can defeat them. Should I? Should I? We're going to, again, we're doing some limit testing here. Let's do some limit testing with spells. I don't think we're going to have any problems winning this fight. Ooh, it looks like we're going to lose everybody except for half of our stack of cultists, unless we can make this fight go much better. Let's do that. Dammy says, I meant when you pointed out the Schism is a magical faction. Oh, the spell proficiency to do all the summoning. Because they're a magical faction, you got to have the summoning. That makes a lot of sense. Okay, appreciate that. Soren Denmark says, hello, Vixfox. I like your tier list on YouTube from Olden Era. I just wonder if you ever will get the time to play Heroes of Might and Magic 2. Absolutely. I was going to play Heroes 2 today, but I was like, you know what? I don't really have like a full playthrough of any faction yet for Olden Era. Let's plan on actually streaming either tomorrow or Thursday. I took work off this week. Let's plan on streaming either Wednesday or Thursday, and let's just plan on being at Heroes 2 with that day. How about? That's kind of my plan. Folks, for the first time, we see green letters. Green letters means that there's additional raw Shoth in the stack. You can tell the original amount was 52. I think that our Abyssal Communion is actually stacking up nicely. Originally 33 of these cultists were up to 36. This is basically like a shield. And I suppose if the creatures last till the end of battle, we're doing exceptionally well. I don't know if that's the case or not. I don't know. I don't. There's a lot of unknown questions, but I'm looking forward to it. E-Bugle, they're the same-ish color. Yeah, they've got a lot of... We have to remember that the colors for the different things, even the little sub-skills, they are problematically still working on the visuals. This is a game that's not even out of beta access. This is not even in early access. This is a demo for a game that's not quite built. So I'm trying to be very, like understanding of where it's at. It's just going to take some time. Just going to take us some time. Oh my goodness. So folks, we've got Fawn Archers, which do full damage at range. They are the upgraded version of the Fawns. And we also have Vine Iriads. These are the tier 3 creatures for the Sylvan faction. So these are all Sylvan faction units. These guys are kind of tough. They do AoE damage. They leave no body upon death. They're immune to cave in. At least this is not like the Crystal Iriad that has, you will lose one creature every time you attack them. There's some pretty broken stuff out there, and I'm kind of here for it. But because there's these ranged creatures, I don't want to just hold back and wait for these guys to come to me. I need to go down the battlefield and attack them. And so to make sure I'm doing the very best I can, I think I just want to start doing damage. We got 20 spell points. One Ice Bolt is kind of a little bit of, I don't want to say overkill, but let's definitely take out 8 of these Fawns now. Then let's wait. And we'll start walking down the battlefield pretty quickly. Okay. We just lost like 6 or 7 of these raw Shoth. I wonder, can I get good morale? I can get good morale, I think. Yeah, I got +1 morale. So it's possible I'll get good morale and I can get down the battlefield a little bit quicker and just jump right into the faces of these enemies here. Nice to see that they're going for this big stack of creatures as opposed to the cultists. I think I want to keep the cultists alive as long as possible. Think so anyway. It looks like for the upcoming turn order, cultists are just going to be a really high initiative sort of creature. I think I'm going to use that. I can attack here. I can attack here. What's the best way of doing this? What is the best way of doing this? I can do Favorable Wind, which will increase my damage. I can do Weakening Ray to prevent damage. Umbral Grip, I can use that to take out more of these other creatures here. I think that these creatures here are going to be really tough, though. 45 HP each. There's going to be a lot of damage coming through really quickly. I'm going to try and hide the cultists over here. They're not going to move very far. They're not going to get closer to these Fawns, but I'm going to send some single stacks to just kind of get in the way of the Fawns. I'm going to start doing damage this way. 9 of the Vine Iriads down to 5. That was 4 that we just cost them there. That felt pretty good. And then like this raw Shoth right here, I'm just going to stick them right here, so in the future, the melee penalty is going to have to come into effect. So that feels okay. Because there's AoE damaging attacks, I think that simply stepping right here is not really going to help me, unfortunately. If I fly creatures around, I could potentially, I don't know, I got 3 stacks. I go here, 1, 2, 3. And then these guys can't get around. I don't know if that's going to be the most effective thing for me or not. But it's probably the best chance I have. We got another Umbral Grip, 100 pure damage. It's gonna be 2 more creatures. Is that better or worse than a Weakening Ray or a Inner Light or anything like that? I don't think so at the moment. So I think I'm just gonna save my spell points. No, let's do an Umbral Grip. Let's start to take out some of these enemies over here because I'm anticipating that some raw Shoth are gonna get down here in just a moment or two. So we're gonna attack. We're gonna take a retaliation, but we do kill 2 of these vines. Oof. And then 1, 2, 3. Yeah, let's just do it like this. 1, 2, 3. Oof. And then this guy, can he step up? Nope, not quite. But we avoided taking major damage onto our big stack here. That feels okay. We are kind of low on creatures at the moment. I do have a Heroic Strike. I can do this Glance of the Abyss. But I think that the damage doing 2 to 4 is actually much better at the current juncture. We can do a Heroic Strike. We only have 4 spell points left, so there's no more spells here. Tell you what, let's just work on these stacks of 4 here. Let's do ranged attack here, 2 to 4. Okay. We avoided damage from 12 here. And I don't know, is it better for my raw Shoth to go attack the Fawn archers? I kind of think that you got to at some point. You're kind of going to abandon these creatures. Well, these 7 can't reach. I'm going to let the cultists deal with these 3 vines and attack down here. Remember, the AI was able to win this battle, so we've at least got to win the battle. Oh, that's not good. So the vine area just did Awaken Earth. That increased their own speed and initiative by 1, increased HP by 10, have unlimited counterattacks until the end of the battle. They can do that once per battle. So this is a little bit of a problem here officially. Officially a little bit of a problem. We're gonna do Heroic Strike here. We're gonna back off. Thankfully due to our ranged attack, they can't really bring us down. Down to 4, down to 2. We're losing another 2 cultists here. The raw Shoths feel like they're kind of out of position, don't you think? Feels like we're out of position because now they're gonna continue to move up here. Yeah. We're gonna get out of this fight, but oof. I feel like I'd prefer to lose less troops than I am right now. We're gonna try and move these creatures back into range of the raw Shoth. Retaliation here, very good. And I'm just gonna, what's this? Summoning Rite? Okay, so I can't reach at the moment anyway. I could wait and let the Vine Iriads get a little bit closer. But how's this work? It looks like for the 2 focus points, I could just raise one of my own dead stacks of creatures. I'm only gonna raise 1 though. That feels pretty bad. I'd like to see it happen though. There's only 1 left. It'll be fine. Where did you go? Oh, you raise them and then they don't become their own stack. They just go back into your big stack of raw Shoth. Oh, now I understand. Okay. But folks, what do you think? Did we do better this battle? We didn't lose all 52 of the raw Shoth, and we only lost 5 of the cultists. Did we do that fight better or worse? I think that we definitely did that fight better. Still, pretty costly losses, but so long as we keep the cultist stack up, I think we're going to be okay. What opportunities did I miss? I would love for people to give me some feedback. Was there an opportunity that was on the battle map that I missed? Let me know what you think. Maybe there was. Maybe I should have used the special ability for the cultists. Maybe I should have split up my stacks for the raw Shoth so I could have gotten 14 of them back into my army or something like that. Let me know. I'm interested to find out. And folks, Expert Intelligence is on the board. The hero can learn up to tier 5 spells without needing to learn the corresponding magic school. That feels broken. I'm going to go with Expert Intelligence. And between the 2 subskills, 25% additional mana from Rhythmic Cadence or Rite of Passage, which will allow us to convert all movement points into mana. I don't know which is better. This seems like it's got a skill cap. I'm going to assume that I'm going to be at the floor of my skill cap. I'm going to go with Rhythmic Cadence for the moment. And we're just going to note that we are out of spell points. We are low on movement points. We're going to make a beeline back to home. And yeah, we're gonna be happy with that fight. I think that fight went okay for us. Okay. E-Bugle. Wow, the Angelic Alliance returns. Yeah, buddy. Angelic Alliance, there's only 1 part, but I'm glad that it's here. I'm glad that there's some of those nods to the other Heroes games. It just feels pretty nice to me. Folks, this is the Gingerbread House. It's kind of like a windmill. It's going to give you your choice of resources every week. So right now we are lowest on gems. I'm going to go for 3 gems. No, if I go for the Mercury, I might be closer to getting my big, beautiful tier 7 creatures. How important are gems? I'm going to go for the Mercury because I know I need Mercury. Let's go for that right now. We just picked up a new artifact. This is going to be the Magic Mirror. Restores 4 mana to the hero each morning. Tell you what, I could definitely use an awful lot of that. That sounds good to me. So I'm going to ignore Forgotten Remains. I'm going to ignore this ore and this wood. I think we're going to try and be very crafty with our movement points. Let's head home. Let's make some purchases and go from there. Thorin Denmark says, at least Eagle Eye lets you learn all the spells that the enemy knows. Oh, so I think that it takes effect at the very beginning of the battle too. Is that correct? Is that your understanding? Because that is my understanding, and I'm hoping that that is correct because it feels like that's pretty valuable to me anyway. We got some faction points. I've already used my resource riches. There is resource riches 2 in the tier 3. I kind of wonder if I need to, with 2 castles, use the survival conditions. I think I'm going to. It's maybe a little bit costly, but I'll do that for now. And then maybe later we go for Depths of Mind, so our Schism heroes get additional movement points back, or rather spell points back. No real good purchases here. I kind of want to go for additional dwellings, but I don't really have that opportunity for me. I can upgrade my lesser summoning right so that my raw Shoths can become ferocious or of the stinging variety. This will take all of our alchemical dust. We only have 12 alchemical dust, and this will require 10 of it. I'm going to do it though. For the first time, we're going to have the opportunity, or rather the ability, to upgrade one of our Schism faction units. We're just going to be ready for that when our hero gets back home. And our whole deal right now is that we're missing wood. We are low on wood. That is a bit of a bottleneck. Perhaps I actually should go out of my way for this resource. First thing in the morning, we're going to grab a little bit of wood, 5 to 8 wood, and then we're going to continue back on our way. But folks, that's going to be the end of the day. Month 1, week 1, on to day 7. Steeson says, "What art thou doing, Fix Fox? Fix Fox! Why art thou Fix Fox? Who art thou, Fix Fox? The time you've got for gaming, I envy thee. I have not yet played Horse Game 8. Heroes of Might and Magic 8, otherwise known as Olden Era. Steeson. Yeah, I've mentioned before, but I took the week off of work, and so I'm trying to make sure I'm spending good quality time with my family. We got some good plans later, and I will stream at least one more time this week outside of our usual sort of timing. But yeah, I am blessed to be able to take a little bit of time off to enjoy some good quality gaming wherever I get the opportunity to do so. So I don't deserve it, but I'm grateful for the time. We can go for the bank for 1,000 gold per day, or we can get some additional cultists. I kind of want to go for the cultists, given that it's day 7. I'm going to go for the cultists today, and then tomorrow we will go for the bank. With 2 faction law points, if I upgrade, let's see, I can't upgrade any of these forces to get additional growth in my city right now. Maybe I should go for the experience. Yeah, I think that the experience is still pretty good. Let's go for that. And folks, that's going to be the end of month 1, week 1, day 7, on to week 2. Let's see. Soren Denmark says, "Don't ice bolts slow the enemy down?" So they don't really slow them down, but they do decrease their initiative. So initiative and speed are 2 separate things in Olden Era. Speed is how fast you move on the battlefield, like how far you can go, and then initiative is how quickly in the turn order do you get to go. So initiative, speed, it does slow down the initiative, but not the speed. And then McFall's in the chat. Hello, McFall. Nice to see you here. Welcome, welcome. Great to see some Olden Era gameplay. I finished all the tutorials, but didn't have time to try out any actual maps. You know, I'm excited for you to let me know then kind of what you think when you get the chance, because I think that there's an awful lot of, I think it's going to be fun to see what is out there, what can be done. There's a lot left to be polished, and I'm not going to hold the Olden Era demo to a very high standard just yet, because I think that that's wrong of me to do so. But with what we have here, I think it's very playable. I think you can actually have some fun with some of those maps. So yeah, go try some of those maps and let me know. Let me know what you think. I'm not going to go for this Mage Guild because we do have the artifact that gives us access to all of the tier 2 spells. I think I'm good on spells right now. At the moment, I think I'm good on spells. But if I go for this bloated mansion, which will give me access to, it looks like, arbiters, then, I mean, that's going to take all my gold. I only have 7,500. This will take 6,700 of my gold, and then I won't be able to make purchases. I think I'm going to hold off on this bloated mansion because it's day 1. I'm not going to make any purchases today here. I'm going to kind of go back to this point. I'm going to go to my upgrade tab. And we did get our upgrades for the Raw Shoth, and now we have 2 upgrades possible. We have Stinging Raw Shoth and Ferocious Raw Shoth. It looks like you're going to have increased defense, attack, and initiative for the Stinging Raw Shoth. And for the Ferocious Raw Shoth, a little bit less speed, and, well, a little bit more speed, a little bit less initiative. But overall, 2 upgrades there. It looks like the other stats are pretty much the same. Going from the Raw Shoth to the Stinging Raw Shoth are ranged. So if you get the upgrade, all of a sudden in your tier 1, tier 2, you've got a ranged attack. This is like Tower, I suppose, with the Gremlin turning into the Master Gremlin, where they can go from melee to ranged. This is actually maybe a big upgrade. So ranged attack, okay. They still do have the summoning ability, very nifty. And then these Ferocious Raw Shoth, looks like they are melee only. They have a sweeping strike. So they will attack 2 hexes, so kind of an AoE damaging deal. They continue to fly, and then they continue to do their summoning. Very interesting. I think that Stinging Shoths, just because you want ranged damage, I think that that's gonna be worth my time. That's gonna be my upgrade that I take on this. And let's make sure that we adjust which creatures will be spit out when we do buy all. Let's make sure it's the Stinging Shoth, and we've got access to Stinging Shoth, Cultists, and we got a couple of these riders. Oh, and we do have access, I believe, to, yeah, a couple of these girls. What are you? Okay. We do have access to the Aga'Shoth riders, which it looks like they remove all terrain penalties when in a hero's army. What? Removes all terrain penalties when in a hero's army. Okay, so the crossbowmen and the Astringers for the Temple faction, they've got this bird's eye view that gives their hero on the adventure map +1 sight radius. It looks like some other creatures have some abilities that impact your ability on the adventure map. That's cool. That's really cool. So if you are going through the desert terrain, for example, these Aga'Shoth riders, so long as you have one, you're going to be moving through very, very well. Interesting. Very cool. We also have Piercing Cold. When hitting an enemy with an attack or counterattack, it will apply a negative effect that makes them take 100% bonus magic damage, double the magic damage. So if you hit somebody with the Aga'Shoth rider, then that is the person that you want to obliterate with a Cold Ray or a Lightning Bolt or something. Okay, good to know. Very good to know. And then Icy Breath, this is an attack modifier, makes an additional attack. So double the damage, and the second damage is pure damage, which pure damage cannot be mitigated or reduced. Very interesting. Wow. Wow. Okay, so Aga'Shoth Rider, lots of tactical abilities there. I know we're going to want at least one, but let's make sure we have enough gold to get a Concubus as well. So this is going to be tier 1, 2, 3 creature. We haven't gotten our tier 4 Grand Shoth yet, but the Concubus is going to be our tier 5 creature, and it looks like this is going to be a ranged combatant. It looks like they're going to be nimble, so they can do a ranged attack even if the enemy is right adjacent to them. I wonder if that means that they're just always going to do full damage with their attack, or if that means that they can shoot past the person and damage somebody on the opposite end of the battlefield. That'd be kind of interesting to know about that. They have the ability, Earn Your Magic Deer. Enemy hero spells cost +1 mana. The effect does not stack. Only the strongest one is active. So, just a flat +1. Okay, very good. And if I have 100 Concubus, that does not increase the spell casting cost by 100. It's just +1 no matter how many Concubus are in the stack. And then Handcuffs. This is an active ability. It prevents the target from using active abilities. That's kind of nifty. That's kind of nifty. A lot of tactical opportunity there. Lasts for 2 rounds. I wonder if that can be dispelled or anti-magic or anything like that. That'll be interesting to find out. But 60 hit points, 14 to 19 damage. This looks like a pretty good creature. Pretty good creature. Really slow though. 2 speed. 2 speed. They're kind of like a turret. They just stay put. Let's get one of these Concubus. And then let's get let's get a couple of these Aga'Shoth Riders. 4? Let's get 4. Yeah. Okay. And so that way we got a little bit of everything we can play with. So we got some ranged damage. We got some additional Cultists. I'm immediately going to break off some single stacks just because I like single stacks. And yeah, I'm excited for this. Let's go play with these creatures. Let's go play with this and see what kind of fun stuff we can do. Let's start with these guys. Bye-bye. Let's see. And Tanil Tandar is in the chat. Hello there. Nice to have you here. Welcome, welcome. Thanks for responding to my comment on YouTube. I like how responsive you are to criticism. Thank you. I appreciate that. You know, I think that I hope that I never do not become responsive to criticism, because I think that first of all, there's a lot of scrutiny that you can apply to fix Fox. I think that I would be wrong to say, oh yeah, I smell like roses. I never do anything wrong. I don't think that that's true, first of all. And so it's really nice to be able to hear from other people. I'm never gonna get better if I don't listen and learn. And so I consider every little bit of information. Yeah. So there's been some nice feedback, and I really appreciate feedback. I always appreciate feedback. So yeah, thanks for reaching out on YouTube. It was a pleasure to have you there. Let's see. These creatures are not gonna be able to reach me. It's kind of hard on this snow terrain to kind of see how far they can reach, but they're going to go to about here and about here. I'm just going to wait for one more round, and then we're going to fire away. Down to 48 of these creatures here. Not too bad. I'm going to wait one more turn. It's possible that these guys are going to get good morale. They do not, which feels great. I'm going to use my long reach attack to take out most of this stack. 38 up to 63. Let's see how many of these guys we can kill. We kill 40. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. We can do our handcuffs ability. These guys don't have an active ability though, so I'm not going to worry about that at the moment. Looks like my riders can get all the way out to this stack up here. And so it's probably going to end up being a heroic strike that we use in just a moment. 6 to 7. I don't want to do 6 to 7. 6 to 7 feels like a lot. I don't have a web, so I can't slow these guys down. I could do some Crystal Crown stuff. I might just do the Ice Bolt. Yeah, now might be the time for the Ice Bolt to decrease these guys' initiative for the upcoming round. Let's do that. Let's try and keep our forces safe. Let's do our ranged damage wherever we can. Whoa, we almost lost one of our Aga'Shoth riders. 1 hit point left. 1 hit point left. Ah. That's exactly what I planned on. That's exactly what we planned on. All right, we're going to get our heroic strike off for this round. We're going to cast it again. And folks, it feels really good to not take any losses in this fight. I'm thrilled for that. Let's continue to do that again and again and again. No losses, 1,000 experience. And we're going to pick up this Magic Garden. Once a week, it gives gold or valuable resources to the first visiting hero. That's me. That's me. I'm that guy. I'm that guy. Okay, lethal battle here with the, looks like tier 3 creatures, maybe higher. I think that these are our tier 3 creatures. Yeah, the Temple Griffins, those are looking a little tough. Wait, are these Temple Griffins or Defender Griffins? I struggle to remember. But there's a Sword of Judgment here. Another part of the Angelic Alliance. Holy cow, wait a second. If you have 3 items from the Angelic Alliance, creatures from different factions do not lower each other's morale. Remember, we do start off with this Helm of Heavenly Enlightenment, which is part of the Angelic Alliance. I think that we are really hoping that we can find one more part of this Angelic Alliance. That'd be really lovely. And then there's this, behind this creature, this is a legendary item, Orb of Destruction. Heroic strikes deal +1 damage per each point of the hero's attributes. That's kind of nifty. That's kind of nifty. So we've already seen the heroic strike be good. At this point, it would do an additional, what, 13, 6, 9... like an extra 20 points worth of damage. I don't think it's like amazing, but it's good. We'll take it. We'll take it. We'll take it. Yeah, we'll take it. Oh yes, and Tonel, this is a single player map. Because we're just having a first look at the Schism faction, I do want to just have this be a single player as opposed to the classical game where you can hire multiple heroes, just so that way I don't get lost. There's a lot to focus on here. Right now I'm just trying to focus on just the bare minimum that I possibly can. We are still wanting to get into this additional gold revenue. It looks like we're going to go for a marketplace. Just make sure that we have that ready for later. Let's hit end turn and go on to a new day. Okay, day 2. Swordsman. I wonder how good the AI is. Clearly the AI is not that good if we're losing 3 of these creatures. That seems like way too many. Let's fight this fight. Fight this fight. McFall says, I always like to do single hero challenges, so it's actually nice it's a game mode now. And I think that for like Horn of the Abyss, that there were a lot of people that enjoyed that as their primary way that they played competitively. But it's kind of a gentleman's agreement, a little bit of a handshake deal to say, hey, we're not going to use any additional heroes, right? And I would like to believe that nobody ever was not trustworthy with that. But it's really nice, as you say, to have an actual guarantee that nobody's going to be using anything but one single hero. Okay, continuing on, I'm anticipating these guys are going to come charging down the battlefield, maybe in just a second. It's time to start doing some damage there. Remember that these have the Aegis ability, so they take 30% reduced damage. I do want to cast spells, and I want to use my Heroic Strike against these guys wherever possible. And even the Cultists, I think that they're still going to do reduced damage with their reach attack. So let's just wait one more time. No good morale. Very good, very good. Will the Aga'Shoth Riders, will I lose multiple of them if I attack? I feel like I will. So I'm going to do 1 Umbral Grip. I'm going to take out 10 of this stack, and then I'm going to hope that 11 Swordsmen don't kill 1 Aga'Shoth Rider. They don't. It was close, but they don't. And let's start to do, let's kill 8. Very good. Heroic Strike. Damage. 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 And it looks like these Sun Aegis captains, it looks like they're going to get to kill one of these creatures if they want them. They wanted them. but even just losing 1 as opposed to 3 of these tier 3 creatures, that feels pretty fine to me. So we're gonna get out of this fight. Losses look very much acceptable, and we level up to level 6. So we're up to level 6. That picked us up +1 of the defense, and now we have the choice between basic leadership, basic resistance, or basic economy. For a guy that struggles with economy, I really like the idea of basic economy. I think that leadership is so good, though. Taking extra additional turns in combat is just so good. I'm gonna take the basic leadership. That feels like the right choice. You'll have to let me know if I'm wrong about that. Let's see, we have Chainmail, Borloth's Tail, and Borloth's Heart. I believe that it's important to note that these all sit in different places in your hero's artifact slots. So I might already have a Chainmail or like something on the breastplate. I might already have something in my left hand or my right hand. This feels like the best because it's the most stats. +1 defense. Why would I ever choose this one over this one? Well, this one's on the breastplate and this one's maybe in the hand or something. I'm gonna take the chainmail. I don't think I have something for the chainmail just yet. Yeah, that feels good. Okay, feels fine. But that was the Monty Hall, where you get to choose 1 of 3 random artifacts per game, once per game. And then there's a Borloth's Heart. So one of the choices we had is actually sitting right there. We will pick that up in just a moment. I kind of want the experience first. 1200 experience does not level us up, but I'm gonna go through these Shoths in just a second. Should I go out of my way for the Mercury and the Campfire? If I get gems, it'll be totally worth it. I do need the Mercury so I can get my tier 6 creatures. Let's mosey our way up in this direction through the gold storage. Let's pick up our Mercury as soon as possible. Question mark. As soon as possible. Question mark. And let's fight this fight. Thorin Denmark says, I actually like that it's not only in battle that unit skills work. I like that too. That's really cool that there's a way that they can impact the game outside of just that one little area. I like that. They can attack even if they aren't next to an enemy. Oh, so these guys, they can attack even if they are next to the enemy. Very good. Very good. So like they can AoE, or rather they can do their ranged attack over here. I do like that. That's very cool. Tanil says the removing movement penalties should have been for a neutral unit. Seems strong. It does feel like they're setting themselves up to have a balancing nightmare. There's lots of things that feel too strong initially. And I guess that the problem is this, is that if everything's broken, then nothing is broken. So if you have all these broken things scattered throughout the game, how do you ever reach a consensus on what balance is going to look like in Heroes of Might and Magic Olden Era? And I don't think you're going to. And I think, in fact, maybe that's a strategic thing. There's games, for example, like League of Legends, where the game is not meant to be balanced. They perpetually leave it in a state of unbalance so that they can go through multiple balance patches, which will keep the game fresh and new and exciting. It's possible that they are specifically setting themselves up so the game will never be balanced. So that way they can keep like the online competitive play flowing, which is really bad for us single scenario campaign players. And I think that this makes the most sense to me, that this might be their plan, given that they have indicated that there's going to be a different AI for single player campaigns versus adventure map here. There's going to be a different, there's going to be different stats, balance changes for the single player campaigns versus online play. So the fact that you have 2 sets of balance means that I'm guessing that the online play is going to be, we'll see. We will see. Folks, these guys do not have a ranged attack. These guys do. So we better try and work on this stack here. Is there any way I can stop this? Target friendly creature takes -20% damage. If I knew who these guys were going to attack, I think I would cast this optical illusion. I'm guessing that they're actually going to want to attack my big stack of 58 raw Shoth. I'm gonna hope I'm correct. I'm gonna hope that I'm taking -20% ranged damage. I hope that these guys don't attack my cultists or anybody else. Let's see what happens. Dang it. My bad. I was hoping that they would attack here. Maybe because I cast the optical illusion, which reduces ranged damage. Maybe that's what actually prompted them to attack the cultists. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. But we kill 8 in retaliation. I'm going to send my units across the battlefield. Do damage, my friends. Do damage, my lovelies. 1 to 2, 1 to 2. Cultists have got to go down the battlefield. They just have to. Oh, and with these guys' positioning, I'm going to go south of this little ice berm. You're going across the battlefield. Interesting. I didn't expect that, but okay. And so these guys, I'm going to consider them pretty much handled. I'm going to start to work on these other Aga'Shoth here. Damage. Damage. And oh, I'm going to keep these guys actually in reserve. I think that the Cultists can manage this stack here. It's not going to be pretty because they want to do their long reach attack, but I'm going to actually move them into melee range. I will take the retaliations. Just to prevent these guys from doing full damage, I will take the retaliations. It's fine. It's fine. 26 to 43 damage or 26 to 43. Yeah, I'm just going to take the damage and kill most of your stack. Down to 26 and we lose 1 in retaliation. That's fine. It's okay. It's okay. 1 heroic strike and another. Damage 55 down to 54. Notice that the top stack of Abyssal abilities, like we only just got out of the bonus units. We went from the green number down to the white number for the first time. So really, we didn't lose any creatures. As far as I'm concerned, we didn't lose any creatures. This was just the first instance of, you know, creatures being less than the starting amount due to our special expert ability. Does this even tell us that we lost any creatures? No, it doesn't. So technically we didn't even lose any creatures because those are free creatures that will not last after the end of the battle. You don't get to keep the extra creatures that are summoned. So basically it's like a shield. It's like a shield that does additional damage for you. And so the shields were exhausted. We went through that fight. We took no losses. That is about as good as you can hope for in any Heroes of Might and Magic game. So already feeling some good vibes for that special ability. Folks, we got basic logistics. We won the game. Basic logistics, in my opinion, if you see basic logistics, you should take basic logistics. It is just that strong. 10% bonus movement points for our 1 hero on the adventure map. In a 1 single hero mode, yeah, I think that that's absolutely worth it. So we're going to take that. But we do have faction law points and other stuff. There's stuff to do. There's stuff to do. Thorin Denmark says, remember that 2 speed is like having a Walking Dead in your army in Heroes of Might and Magic 2. Yeah, but I don't think it impacts. So slow creatures, your creature's speed, as far as I'm aware, does not impact your hero's movement points. We started off the game with 200 movement points per day, and now we're up to 220 because of the logistics. Yeah, because of the logistics, that's an extra 20 points per day. It doesn't matter if I have these slow creatures in the army or not. That's actually something I kind of dislike. It was a staple of the game. Do I bring my dwarves out on the adventure map? Do I bring my hydras out onto the adventure map with me at the cost of speed? I thought that was a really fun mechanic. I guess in Heroes of Might and Magic Olden Era, they just don't want that for whatever reason. You'd have to ask them why, but bit of a loss. I'm at a bit of a loss as a longtime Heroes 2 enjoyer because that felt very valuable to me. And I'm very sad that we don't have that anymore. I am sad. I'm going to do this Depths of Mind. I like the idea of having an additional 20% mana returned to me at the beginning of every day. So we're going to do that now. And then we do have, let's see, which castle are we at? We're at Banarach. And we could get the Bloated Mansion. I'm going to wait on that for a moment. I really do want to get this Abyssal Remnant 3 for the additional gold and the faction law points. Nothing else I really want to spend this on. Oh, I'm gonna save my faction law points. I don't think that faction law that increases the damage of your tier 1 creatures is that good, so I'm gonna wait on that. And then Thorin Denmark asks, can you take the hero's artifact? Can you take the hero's artifact? This one? Can I take it? I can take it. I can take it. No, let me know what you mean by that. Can I take it? McFall asks and says, by the way, how do you like the white fog of war on the map? I changed mine to black immediately. I can do that. I can do what now? Huh? Video. Outlines, depth of field, distance fog, fog of war. Void. Oh, oh, that feels kind of nice. I think I like this. I think that with the white one, though, you can kind of see through the fog of war a little bit better. So McFall, I do like this. I do like this because it gives a really clear delineation between where I have scouted and where I haven't scouted. But there's 3 options. There's this one that it looks like it's harder for me to see what's just hidden in the fog of war. Then there's also, back to the one we were at manuscript. And again, it feels like I can kind of see through this fog of war a little bit better. You can see, oh, not just a wing, but also kind of the mantis here. I can get a little bit more information with manuscript on. And then also there's a third one, and the third one is clouds, right? Right, clouds. Yeah, and clouds, you can also kind of see through clouds a little bit too. I like them. I like that there's choices. I don't think it's bad to have choices. So yeah, clouds, it looks like, for example, you can tell that there's your +1 defense guarded by swordsmen. I don't think I can tell that with the black border. So maybe I shouldn't have it on just for that reason. Can you tell? Can I see? I can barely see. I can barely see, but not quite. So I do like this because of theming and just clear delineation, but it's pay to lose. You lose some advantage when you play with the cool black outline. So I'm gonna go back to manuscript for now. But yeah, there's a bunch of these different effects. You can outline all objects or interactive objects. You can do depth of field. I don't really know what that is. Distance fog. Okay, whatever. Day-night change visuals. I actually don't really like that one. It kind of bothers me. Something about the graphics has actually been making me, I don't want to say sick, but it does. I can't play Olden Era for a long time. Otherwise I get headaches. Does that make sense? So I'm wondering, I just turned my graphic settings up from low to medium. I can play it on high on this computer without too many issues, but I was wondering if by turning it down, I could actually avoid getting sick a little bit. I'm gonna give it a shot. We're gonna hope for the best, and we're just gonna hope that this isn't gonna give me a headache. Anyway, lots of cool stuff out there. Wood or ore, we definitely need the wood right now. Let's go for the wood. And there's this Aga'Shoth Stables. Let's grab that. Like in other Heroes of Might and Magic games, I'm gonna lose the one. I'm gonna accept that. Like in other Heroes of Might and Magic games, your external dwellings do increase the amount of creatures that you're able to hire in your castle. So I'll be excited for that. I think that's gonna be fine to have additional creatures that way. Let's go to our second castle because I'm still trying to get that built up as a money bank. We're up to, by the way, 6,500 gold amongst these two castles. That's pretty good. And I don't know, I do need to get, let's see, do I need to get mage guilds? I gotta get the mage guilds for this involuntary summons, whatever that is. Once per week allows the owner to recruit any creature from an external dwelling. That seems okay. Oh, but you gotta get this. No, you gotta get a level 2 mage guild to get the Grand Shoth. It's day 3. Let's start to get a level 1 mage guild. Anyway. Dammy says, by the way, I know StarCraft has quite different faction balancing for campaign versus PvP. The campaign or single player modes have more fun but less balanced features, while multiplayer or PvP modes have stricter balancing, making the gameplay more serious. Yeah, that's very true. That's very true. Like, you can't have a Kerrigan unit with all of those special abilities wandering around. Cyclones, I mean, they weren't going to include Cyclones in the game for a long time until Heart of the Swarm, I think. They got rid of like the Diamondbacks. They got rid of lots of different units that just were overpowered. And I think that's good and that's important, but I think that the gameplay balance is more than just, hey, this unit is too good for competitive play. Maybe I'm wrong. We don't have any indication on what the campaign is just yet. I will be quiet and I will wait and see. I will zip my lips and we will wait to find out. Folks, we just hit tier 3 of faction laws available. Mining Mercury, +1 Mercury per day. I'm immediately going to pick that up. We're up to now +1 Mercury per day. We still need crystal gems, etc., but we know where to go to find those. Here in the tier 3, we can get +1 Mercury per day up to 3 times. We can get otherworldly magic. So our arcane spells of our heroes gain +1 levels. That's kind of nifty. I'm cool with that. Resource riches 2, that's 5,000 gold, 10 wood, 10 ore if we take this skill. Unfrozen strength, this is going to increase the damage and defense of our tier 4 creatures. Elite Grand Shoths, this is going to increase the growth in cities and speed for our tier 4 creatures. Very good. And then Cold Touch, all negative effects used by your heroes and friendly creatures last for 1 additional round. That's kind of cool. I like that as well. I feel like there's lots of spells that I do want them to be cast once and then hang around till the end of combat. That's going to be the end of day 3 here. We are out of movement points, faction law, penalties, and so on and so forth. On to a new day. We're going to fight these phantasms. Let's see how this goes. Soren Denmark says, okay, I did not know it's a big change. I mean, there's a lot of changes out there. there are a lot of changes out there. I mean, specifically when it comes to like the logistic movement, right? Where like the 2-speed creatures versus 6-speed creatures. On the one hand, Olden Era is totally its own game. On the other hand, it does pay homage to all of the games that came before it. And that's kind of the way it ought to be. Like, it should pay homage to all the other games that came before it, in my opinion. How do you do that? How do you strike that balance between being very familiar but also being its own game? I think it's tough. I think that they've really set themselves up to do as good of a job as they possibly can, but I do feel like it's going to be an awful lot of struggle to make sure that things work out just fine. More than that, I can't possibly tell you. I can't tell you how this is going to go. But they've bitten off a lot. Let's see if the Olden Era devs can handle everything that they've decided to chew. Folks, should we take out one full stack of these Phantasms? Phantasms are the tier 2 upgraded creatures with the ghosts. They have the Nightmare's ability where they can curse the target and take extra damage. They can also do Memory Devour. As they attack, they get creatures back. I'm going to attack. Can you reach? You can't reach. I can reach here. I can take out one full stack. Should I do it? Should I do it? Tell you what I'm going to do. Hold on. Oh, I'm a genius. Watch this. All right, I'm going to attack you. Ah, your whole creature's dead. I'm going to take the blink spell. I'm going to be like, psych. Peace. Fun to say hello to you, and it's fun to say goodbye. All right. And that way we are still out of range of these creatures for one more additional round of combat. I'm going to wait on everybody else except for... wait. I guess we've already waited there. Let's almost kill one full stack here. They have to come into range just a little bit. And it looks like due to turn order, we were right to take out this top stack. That's probably the best thing. It's going to eliminate the most damage. If I Umbral Grip the entire stack, 140 points of damage, it will kill all of them. No, not quite. 140? Yeah, it will kill all of them. So I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to take my damage from 10. We lose one cultist, but remember, that's just like a top cultist stack that was free. We're going to kill 18 off the top of this stack. There's down to 16. They get a little bit more damage off. Yeah, they didn't even get through our shields. Did not even get through our shields. I'm fighting these fights like you have to be super crafty. I don't think I have to be as crafty as I thought I did. I think I'm already overwhelmingly powerful. No losses. Oh, I did lose one cultist. Never mind. I'm glad that I tried to be crafty then. I'm glad I tried to play it the most correct that I could. Gems, crystal, etc. I'm going to go for the mercury because I think that this is actually enough to get my elite summoning right. Yeah. Okay, so we got to go... Let's see, we got to go here to the Mage Guild. It's day 4, day 5, day 6. Yeah. Oh, but we need 6 mercury here. It's gonna be close. We gotta find more mercury ASAP. In fact, can we reach? I'll bet you if we just go north right now, we can go through the gold here. We'll go through this altar, we'll go through the gold, we'll path in this direction, we'll pick up everything we need before the end of the week. Yeah, let's ignore whatever's over here. What is over here? First off, it's this Quix's altar. Increases each visiting hero's morale by 3 until the end of the week. Very cool. Eerie summoning right. You can summon the Abyssal Envoys in this dwelling. So this is like a cave dragon external dwelling. This is going to give me +1 of my tier 7 creatures. But you have to defeat the Guardians in order to pick this up. I don't think I'm tough enough to deal with them just yet. Once I get some Abyssal Guardians, Abyssal Envoys, then I'll come back here and I'll take this. So it's not going to be in this week that we pick this up, but it'll be starting in the next week. Myra's Altar, I don't want to defeat the Coatls. Is it Coatls? What are these guys? 12 of them? Jeez. I forget what they're called. I think that they're called Coatls. 3,500 gold. I'll go through these little cutie guys. 1? Am I going to lose 1? And then we'll just we'll move forward from there. But yeah, Vammy, will there be the consistency from campaigns to the playthrough? I think that you're bringing up a really good point, and I think that that's probably the way that they're going to do it. I think that that's a wise way of making sure that the campaigns are fun and engaging, and also allowing for the competitive balance to be the most correct that it can be. So I like the way you're thinking there. We're going to go with that. I do believe that it's... I do think that we have to be pretty smart about the way that we talk about the game right now, because I'm I'm anticipating that there's going to be tons of changes. I don't think that they're going to keep the game the same way it is right now. There's no possible way. There's no possible way. There's too many changes. There's too many adjustments. Maybe we're talking about something that we don't even really need to talk about right now. Like we're talking about the merits of certain gameplays and opportunities and strategies. Who even knows if any of this is going to be in the game by the time early access is completed? Who even knows? I don't know, but I do know this. If by the beginning of early access, the campaign is not in a good spot, everything that they can do for the online competitive play is going to be for naught. It's not going to be, it's got to be a solid campaign. If it's not a solid campaign, nothing else is going to be worthwhile. Hero of Legend, enemy morale is reduced by 1 in combat, ups and downs. If we get negative morale, then we got +5 morale until the end of the next round. How does that even make any sense? Why would I ever get negative morale if I've already got the +2 morale here? I guess I don't understand. This is like insurance to make sure that you only get negative morale once, I suppose, in any fight. But I just don't know. If I've already got positive morale, how am I going to sink lower temporarily anyway? And then the top option is Resolve. Friendly creatures' chance to take an additional turn increases by 1% for each point of morale. Bonus is doubled if we know Battlecraft. I'm going to take that. That sounds really good to me. +6 on the wood. And let's go. There's no time to waste. Day 5. Roman says it would be cool. So for the Olden Era to have different campaigns for balance stuff, different balance depending on online play versus not. Yeah, I agree with that, Roman. Definitely cool. E-Bugle says, oh, instant improvement on the Fog of War. Instant improvement? So wait, hold on. Just so I'm clear. Do you folks prefer the black? I will play it however you want me to play it. Do you prefer the black? I will take a look at that. I'm going to lose the 1 cultist there. That feels fine to me. 3 Mercury, another 4, a little bit more. And then what's this? Town Gate teleports a visiting hero to a city under your control of choice. I'll come back to that later. I do want to go pick up my crystal and my gem mines. Yeah, I can defeat these creatures for sure now. Let's go do that. Let's head north. But yeah, let me know, because yeah, if you'd prefer, let me just read ahead. You liked the black Fog of War. Soren Denmark likes the cloud. E-Bugle likes the black Fog of War. Appreciate the other options. Okay, got it. Tell you what, we're gonna try the black Fog of War just for a little bit. We'll give it a shot. We'll see how it goes. Where am I at? Video. Manuscript into void. Okay, let's give it a try for a little bit. Alrighty. It does feel a little bit different, doesn't it? All right, so we are now to the point where I can get this disturbing summoning right for the Grand Shoth. That's gonna be my tier 4 creature. We're up to our tier 5 creatures. We got all of those. And then I'm hoping next turn, if we can pick up just a little bit more gems. Yeah, a little bit more gems, and we should be able to get our summoning right for our tier 7 creatures. Let's pick up, oh, I don't know. Let's pick up +1 Mercury per day twice. I just got a feeling. I got a feeling that's gonna be pretty useful. And then our second castle, it might be time. Resource Depot. Oh, that's 2 Mercury per day. I feel like 4 Mercury a day is actually good enough. Let's start to pick up some of these other dwellings. And that'll be the end of day 5. And Fukidi.Fukidi's in the chat. Hello, Fukidi. Nice to have you here. Welcome back. Always a pleasure. Fukidi says, the graphics look cool to you? Yeah, good. I'm glad that you like the graphics. I think that for all the people that don't like the graphics, I don't think that you're wrong. And for all the people that hate the graphics, like, okay, if you hate the graphics, I don't think you're wrong. If you love the graphics, I don't think you're wrong. I think that the graphics are very subjective insofar as what people are going to like or go with or not go with. Yeah, I just think it's going to be from person to person, day to day. And I think that's acceptable. Oh, hold on. We have a binder and cultists. Wait, binder? Whoa, we got all 3. Folks, for the first time, let me finish this other thought and then we'll come back to this. But I think that the graphics are, not everybody's gonna like the graphics. I'm not sure, again, if I get headaches when I play this game and it's because of the graphics, then ultimately it's a fail for me, but I'm still withholding judgment. I don't know, we'll see. But I don't think that people that think that the graphics are not to their liking or up to their standard, I don't think that they're wrong. But if you like the graphics, there's some parts of the graphics I love better than others. For example, Fireball. It makes me laugh every time. I just love the spell animations. I honestly think that the spell animations are really cool. They make me really happy anyway. So, okay. Let's see. We got 3 new creatures. So we got the Cultists, which we're already familiar with, and then we have their 2 upgrades. It looks like one of the upgrades is the Binders that have a long reach, and they have this new ability, Abyssal Tendril. Deals any enemy 26 damage and removes one of their counterattack charges. So it does take focus points, so you can't just cast it right off the bat, but still, worth noting that that is, I would say, better or worse than Glance of the Abyss? Maybe better. Oh wait, no, this is an attack. Oh, it's an attack. That'll be interesting. Okay, so it's an attack, but it still requires focus points. And then the Votary. This is going to have a new ability, Gaze of the Abyss. It's an attack modifier. It deals 87 pure damage to the target and all adjacent creatures. So watch out. These guys can actually do some AoE stuff to you. Let's try and take out this whole stack if we can. Most of them. We got most of them. They can't reach me just yet here. Yeah, I will leave the base level cultists alone if I can. I'll try and deal damage to these new creatures as much as possible. Here and here. 6 or 8. Let's kill 8. A little bit of extra damage. I think by attacking with these single stacks, I gain focus points when I attack with single stacks. On the flip side, the enemy also gains focus stacks when that happens, right? So I get focus points when I attack with single stacks. They get focus points when they attack with single stacks or when they are attacked with single stacks. Is it better or worse? It just is what it is. Don't know how that worked out so much better for me, but we lost no creatures. Very good. And then we're going to pick up our gems. In just a second, we're going to go grab our crystal. Let's see. Is this enough to get us what we need? Aha, folks, we've done it. We ignored our tier 6 creature, but we are now up to our tier 7 creatures. So we have got ourselves the Abyssal Envoys coming in at 1 per week, along with the Concubus, the Grand Shoth, Aga'Shoth Riders, Cultists, and Shoth. We are still waiting on the Arbitrators. It's day 6. We might be able to pick those up at the beginning of tomorrow, right before the new week. We will hope so. In fact, we're going to save all of our resources just in case that is possible. And we're going to go on to day 7 and see what we can get. Oh, we got 4 faction points we need to use. Let's go take a look at that in just a second. Thor in Denmark, see what artifact the heroes have on when you pick between 3 artifacts. Yes, there we go. That was that other question that we had earlier. You had asked about that. Okay, so I wish, and I think you're right. When we come down to the Monty Hall right here, and you get the choice between 1 of 3 random artifacts, I wish you could check your own hero to make sure that you don't accidentally pick up a plate mail for +3 defense if you've already got something in that slot. So being able to check would actually be pretty important. So I think that's a good call. I think that that's a really good decision there. Yeah, I think that that's a good point, Thor in Denmark. I think that that's an opportunity that they ought to take in the very near future. So good call there. I'm all for it. Folks, something nifty just happened in the chat. Is that Liquid Yetti? Folks, is that Liquid Yetti? Liquid Yetti! Hey, Liquid Yetti. Hello to the real Fix Fox, Master of Heroes 2, and now Master of Olden Era. Oh, Liquid Yetti, my friend. I think that we are all brand new to Olden Era, and I think we're having a lot of fun with it. How are you enjoying Olden Era, sir? I'm very excited to hear your thoughts on Olden Era so far. So let me know what you're thinking about it. We are playing as the Schism faction here, and we are having a fun time failing forward. I'm not saying that we are playing at a top tier level. I think that we are absolutely failing forward, but having a lot of fun doing it. So welcome to you, and welcome to all of your fine, fancy, wonderful people from your chat. Folks, we're going to take the advanced logistics, and we're going to go for the choice between either secret passages, strong mounts, or careful planning. Because of the Aga'Shoth Riders, I don't think that we need to reduce our terrain penalty by 50%. I think that the Aga'Shoth Riders have just taken care of that. So we don't need to do anything there. Strong mounts for neutral spells to have reduced by 4 mana. I think that that's not too bad. And then careful planning, I've not really been able to effectively use careful planning too well. It is doubled if you have the arcane magic. We don't have that yet, but being able to save up unused movement points from one day and then apply those to the next day, I see how that could be powerful. I see how that could be good. I think right now I'm going to take strong mounts because I think it's going to be the most effective, and I think that there's a lower skill floor for me. So that's what we're going to go for right now. And Liquid Yetti says, I have seen your latest videos on YouTube. I think you're really enjoying the game, just like me. I love that you're enjoying the game. Wonderful, sir. Wonderful. Yeah, I saw that you were, I saw you've been playing recently, and yeah, I think it's fun. Is it fun? Is it exciting to have a new Heroes game? I'm enjoying it, and I'm glad to hear that you're enjoying it as well. Hopefully your audience is having a wonderful time watching you play. I think that for those of you who are coming from Liquid Yeti's chat, I think that Liquid Yeti is very purposeful in the way that they go through the adventure map. I think that Liquid Yeti is an excellent tactician. I think that they have a good out-of-the-box way of playing certain battles where they can see some opportunities that maybe some other people wouldn't. For that reason, I think that Liquid Yeti is going to love the arcane school of magic here in Olden Era, because it's going to allow him to bend and break the rules on the battlefield. So yeah, Liquid Yeti, you're going to have to let me know, but I think that arcane magic is going to be right up your alley. So welcome to you, and welcome again to everybody else from your chat. Okay, so now that we've taken out our crystal mine, our gem mine, and we have our +1 mercury per day from the Mercury Fisher, I think that at this point we just have to decide where we want to go. It's at this point that I generally struggle. Should I try my very best to get into the center of the battlefield and kind of use like a Jeebus Cross or Jeebus Outcast sort of template where I know that there are many riches in the very center of the battle map? Or should I continue to take my starting area and divulge 8 of its resources? For now, I think that we're going to just kind of stay in this area. We're going to clean up as much as we possibly can. I'm not worried that the AI is going to show up and cause me too much grief. So for now, let's just stay put and just try and clear out our starting biome. Looks like this is going to be the Ferocious Shoth and some of the Aga'Shoth Matha. This is a new creature. We've got the base version. We've not seen the upgraded version yet. We'll have to give them a shot in just a moment or two. Liquid Yeti says, although I think it will be impossible to make a better game than Heroes 2. Heroes 2 is always going to be my personal all-time favorite. It will always be my all-time personal favorite. I can't imagine that anything is ever going to replace that. But I'm excited to see where Olden Era finds its place amongst the very many wonderful games in the Heroes franchise. And I think that that's all any of us can expect. I don't think anybody can reasonably expect this to be the best Heroes game ever, but I think that we can all plan on it being the best it can be, and it will find its place somewhere in the franchise. And that's not too bad. We're just going to back off. We're going to let these guys come to us. Liquid Yeti says, Archibald and Roland are our gods. Yeah. No, yeah. It's some of the best storytelling in all of gaming, I would say. I would say that, yeah, the Roland Archibald story, that's some of the best gaming that you're going to find out there. For sure. Let's see. Fireball doing 100 points of damage to these 2 creatures. I suppose I could use the Weakening Ray and just remove 1 full stack. I'm going to use this 1 stack of the Shoth to take the counterattack from this guy. And then that way I got somebody to counterattack here and here. And folks, we are officially in a brawl. This is not the fight that I wanted. I didn't realize how fast these upgraded creatures were. Oh my goodness, these guys are fast. Maybe I should have actually attacked right here. 72 Cultists. I think that they could take out this full stack of 5. I don't think that's going to be a problem for them. We could use the Handcuffs ability. I don't think that that's going to be necessary. And these Ferocious Shoth are coming. Goodness gracious, how did the AI do so much better than I did in this fight? My word. Okay, so here's... Oh, I can long reach attack over the gap. That's interesting. I didn't realize that. Okay, we're gonna long reach to kill the big stack of 10 instead of the small stack of 5. Retaliations are coming through hot. They have not yet gotten through our big stack of summoned creatures for our special ability for the faction. Not yet, anyway. Somebody's got to deal with these Shoth. I'm just going to do an Umbral Grip. Take a little bit off the top, as it were. Damage. We can kill 11 to 13 with our Shoth. Or not with our Shoth, but with our Aga'Shoth Riders. And so then I'm just going to spend 2 points here, a couple points here. We're going to get out of this fight, but man, the speed from these creatures absolutely surprised me. I was absolutely surprised that these creatures got down the battlefield in one go. It was similar to the Hornets from the Hive faction. It just felt like they just cruised right on in here. And the losses, I mean, the losses look acceptable, but again, I was surprised by the speed. It looks like the Aga'Shoth Rider upgrade is actually going to be a really good one. It's going to be a good one. So I'm excited for that. Okay. Alrighty. Eric FHM, Schism Communion skill can be improved. Yeah, I think that, so we are up to, well, currently it's up to Expert Abyssal Communion, and we got the One True Home and the Abyssal Collegial upgrades for the sub skills. But do you think that it as a primary skill, as a faction specific secondary skill, do you think that it needs a rework? Do you think it needs to be stronger, etc., etc.? Let me know. Let me know. And I do got to get caught up on some other bits of chat here from the past. So let's see. We've got Vammy saying, I don't think that they would necessarily remove anything from the game, talking about how early access is going to go. Rather, they would nerf certain abilities or skills or whatever more heavily in ranked multiplayer. I think that that's a smart way of doing it. And I think that they're going to have to do a lot of balance changes as they get additional feedback. I wonder how the feedback's going to go. I wonder if they're going to have statistic measuring features in the game so that after every 1,000 games played on their live servers that they're going to get that feedback so they know what levers to pull, or if it's going to have to be through observing players play and just figuring out, that looks a little too strong. I wonder to what point statistics are going to matter in the way that they balance the game. Heatho's in the chat. Hello, Heatho. Nice to have you here. Hi, FixFox. How are you liking Olden Era so far? Sir, I'm having a fun time. I'm having a really fun time. This is a fun game. It's a good game. And I do think that the longer I play it, the better I get at it, which is what you want out of a strategy, tactical game. So, liking it so far. Have you got the opportunity to play this? Let me know. Folks, we've got the Blink ability, which we already have in our spellbook. Assemble, instantly interact with an allied hero. That's not going to help us because this is single hero mode. There's no other heroes to assemble with. And then this trap, Spatial Snare. Place 2 traps invisibly on the ground. A creature steps on it. The trap is halted and ends the turn if the trapped hex was not their final destination. This is bugged. I've tried this before and it hasn't worked for me. The enemies will walk onto it and then they will just walk through it. Maybe I'm incorrect in that. Maybe there was some user error in that. But for now, we're going to take that as our 4th spell there. Don't want these kitten horns. Kitten horns just seems like a really tough combatant. They seem difficult to deal with. I don't want to deal with them. I don't want to deal with them. By the way, I'm pressing the Alt key right now. That's going to highlight anything I can interact with. It feels weird to go out of my way for this one little campfire that far. It's day 7, right? I didn't realize this is an alchemical dust storage. If I get this today, it'll recharge tomorrow and I can get like 40 units of alchemical dust. Do I have rats? I don't have the second wind spell. If I did, I could trade some spell points for some movement points and I would get this today. This campfire does not seem like it was worth it. Rats. Okay. Well, alrighty. We'll come back to this and we'll do this first thing in the morning, but I think that was a missed opportunity. I didn't realize how good that could have been. Okay, folks, we are going to pick up the Bloated Mansion, and in our starting castle, we have our tier 1 through 7 creatures. So we got a little bit of everything going on. Let's go to our second castle. And is there any other things to purchase here? Not at the moment. Time to get a Mage Guild level 1. Spend some of these faction law points. Let's go for additional Shoths. And call it a day. McFall says, for me, it's hard to remember kingdom laws being a thing and the points just accumulate. Yeah, in the tutorial, they, for some reason, didn't have the little glowing number, the number 3 there that indicates how many faction points you have. I think that was a mistake. Even for the tutorial, I think that that's really important for any player to remember, hey, this is your new kind of daily duties you have to do here in Heroes of Might and Magic Olden Era. You need to make sure that you're going through and taking the time to spend your faction law points. You need to make sure you're spending the time to make a purchase every day. Anything you can do to help the player do that more effectively, I think is a good decision. So, okay. Hidden Horns, it's an impossible battle now. If we had attacked them last week, there would have been less. We're going to come back later. We'll get alchemical dust some other way. But we do have some creatures here in this Castle of Endless Spiral. We'll pick up everybody. Oh, we're out of gold. Jeez, we're out of gold. There is a Mage Guild here. We only got 44 out of 50 spell points. We are out of movement points, though, so we're going to stay here overnight anyway. We'll make some purchases first thing in the morning. Go here. So we got our Riders, our Cultists. Got some raw Shoth, not of the stinging variety. Just regular ones. Cool. I guess I could do Unfrozen Strength. Do you want your Shoths to be stronger? I don't want my Cultists to be stronger. They've really been good for me. And we have a huge power stack of 115. I think I'm going to stick with that for now. I would like to go through, at this point, the Black Tower is definitely something I can do. I'd like to pick up these other Shoths over here. Oh, we'll pick them up first thing in the morning. Rats. I got too cute with it. Is it worth just wasting 100 spell movement points? I don't think it is. Let's fight the dragons. There's 2 of them here. And just see where this takes us. Dragons have gotten through our shields. Not very great. Let's wait a couple times and do ranged damage with everybody else. Let's wait. Let's see. Okay, the retaliations are all gone, which was kind of my goal there. I could have just stepped away with my 115 and done my ranged attack. In fact, I probably should have done that, but we'll get out of this fight. It only cost us how many cultists? Oh, none. It only cost us 1 of the Shoths. Really good. And we pick up a new artifact, Misery Cord. Misery Cord. Looks like it's going to be a rare offhanded weapon, +3 attack. Goes along with the Knight's Armor set. The set is at a break point of 3 items. If we get it to 3 items, we got the +2 morale and the +2 luck. Very good. Looks like there's just 1 little patch of gold over there. I'm going to ignore that for now. And let's kind of go through this area. I do love the traveling circuses, which level up a random skill. I think that that's a really good one. We'll pick up that up very, very quickly. Thorin Denmark says, the thing is that everyone will always compare Olden Era to Heroes of Might and Magic 2 and 3, and it is always hard to compete with the childhood nostalgia of people. But I see it as its own game, and I like what I see so far. That's a really healthy way of looking at it, I think. Yeah, I think that's probably the best way we can look at it. It's its own game, and, ooh, that doesn't feel good. Don't do that again. It is its own game, and I'm excited to see how it kind of develops in its own way. What did they say? Comparison is the thief of joy. I think that that's probably what we can expect out of this, is that if we are wanting the game to be excellent, it's got to just kind of be its own thing. Either way. Okay. How do I want to do this? I wish I had... I wish I had the spell that was basically Forgetfulness from Heroes 3. I forget what it's called, but I don't have it. I do want to deal with these. Are these Jasper Dancers? Iriad Dancers? I want to deal with these Iriad Dancers as much as possible. We're going to send our forces down the battlefield as quickly as we can. Cultists notwithstanding. And it looks like they're going to get the first shot off. If I do my Cold Ray, where is it? Ice Bolt. If I do the Ice Bolt, then they are going to lose some initiative. I don't know if it's going to be enough to drop them low enough, but it's going to do some damage. Yeah, and it drops them actually down low enough. So the Ice Ray, it's really nice that it does more than just damage, that it's got some other possibilities with it. I'm going to do the Weakening Ray onto the Troglodytes. There's still going to be, no, there's not going to be any additional charges. I think it's the Toxic Troglodytes that have multiple charges. But that way I can do my damage without fear of a retaliation. That's going to give me the Heroic Strike. The Cultists are not going to be able to reach the Dancers, but we are going to take out the rest of these Troglodytes. There's going to be 3 more Cultists lost. And at this point, I do just want to be able to hit Q and end the battle from here. I know that that's really a nice thing from F Heroes 2, and I think that that's a thing in Horn of the Abyss as well. I think that that would actually be really nice for this game if you could fight a fight up to this point, and then just decide, battle is won, I can't make the fight go any better, let's just accept our losses and carry on from there. 7 Cultists down. I don't remember if that was better or worse, but we're going to take the Expert Leadership. I'm trying to save my secondary skills for nice things, and I love getting up to Expert skills. So morale is up to 3, and I really like this. Friendly creatures' initiative increases by 1. The March sub-skill increases our initiative by 1. And comparing that to Where the Sun Never Sets, where you increase the defense and spell power and attack of your forces, I just think March is pretty good for me. So I like March. We're going to go for that. And from the Stinging Sword, we are going to pick up +1 attack. Traveling Circus is going to level up our logistics to Expert Logistics. And then I really love Leaps and Bounds. The Leaps and Bounds, a secondary skill, it will restore 10 movement points for every victory in battle. So So long as you're able to fight these fights, you can do an awful lot there. I suppose we could say back to town. I mean, it's just a worse version of the... It's just a worse version of town portal because you lose all your movement points. But it could be useful. In single hero mode, because of the way that adventure map spells work, I think I'm going to go with leaps and bounds as opposed to that worse version of town portal. Okay, I'm hoping I can get around here. It looks like I can. It looks like it's going to be a Stringers and Marksmen. We're going to have to deal with them in just a second. What is this artifact? Why can't I click on this? I can't click on it. Anyway, I'm trying to figure out what this artifact is. That might be like the Dragon Flame Tongue. I don't know. Looks kind of interesting. We'll grab that in a second. But for now, any additional changes we need to make to this fight? We're going to take some losses. I don't really deal with ranged enemies very well at the moment. Let's go away from this fight for a moment. I do want this Pandora's box, but we'll come back to that in just a moment or two. The enemy's fleeing. We're going to fight them anyway. No losses, so we're not going to fight the fight. And it's, yeah, it is the Red Dragon Flame Tongue. So another artifact from the power of the Dragon Father. +2 attack, +2 defense. And it is the main hand weapon. So we have an offhand and a main hand weapon. We're not going to put on the rags. We're not going to put on the enlarged shadow. So let's continue on. Experience, wood. I don't want to scout in this area. It looks like a little bit of, if you want to go way out of your way, you can grab a couple of resources here. I'm not going to do that for now. Let's just kind of head south and see where this takes us. Maybe coming back to this later. Alrighty. And I'm happy, folks, I'm happy. We've got all of our forces purchased. We just need to get the alchemical dust to get them upgraded. I am going to pick up the walls in my main castle so I can get up to the treasury tomorrow for the additional gold there. Resource depot, I mean, we're already getting 4 mercury. I don't know if we need any more than that. I'm going to start working on these other buildings just to make sure that we have all the creatures possible, because the AI doesn't do a great job on the adventure map, but it does do a pretty good job of buying its forces and making sure its economy in that regard is okay. Back to the gingerbread house. This is going to be, let's go for 2 gems. A little bit of mercury and maybe the abandoned mansion. Yeah, we can take out this fight. Even though the range damage is going to be kind of not my favorite, we'll still fight this fight. 1 Shoth goes down. That's acceptable. 3,000 gold, not too bad. What do you think, folks? I've seen some whispers. I've seen some people that feel like the AI fights the fights too well. That the AI auto battler actually fights the fights too well. What do we think? What have we seen so far? What do we think? Let me know. I'm gonna go right through these troglodytes, pick up a couple of extra cultists, and continue to clear this map. Yeah, let me know what you think about that, because I don't know. I don't have any thoughts on that on the matter. Okay, folks, we're nearly at 2 hours. I need a break, and so we're going to kind of have this be the last day for a moment, and then we're going to do a 5-minute break after I get caught up on chat. So we're going to hit intern. We're up to month 1, week 3, day 5. Let me get caught up on chat, and then we're going to take a 5-minute break, and then that way we can have a really nice time. But yeah, eBugle, when it comes down to, what is early access for? Early access is to balance things out and make sure that it's playing as correctly as it possibly can. I worry that people are going to look at just this demo and think, oh, the game's broken or busted, it's not good. And I think that's completely unfair, because the game is literally not even out of alpha and beta testing just yet. So yeah, I agree. Early access, I'm excited to see what they do with that. Store in Denmark says the Unfrozen team have already said that they're making UI changes, and that's the reason they're pushing this early access to 2026. So this, the UI, they're changing this. That'll be kind of interesting. Heck, I'm interested to know, like, where does FixFox's camera go? I feel like everywhere I go, I'm covering up something. Like right here when I'm building stuff, like I'm covering up in this little corner here. I don't know. I'll be interested to see what UI changes they make. I think that's going to be kind of interesting. Thorin also continues and says, but FixFox is the one playing. Yeah, no, we'll figure out what makes sense. I've mentioned already that it makes me a little bit sick sometimes to zoom in and zoom out. We'll try to make sure we're fine. Yeah, 3D pixels versus 2D pixels. We'll figure this out. Okay. And Roman says that talking about Natafiono is in your head. Battlefield is better than Heroes 5, but wider than Heroes 3. Castles are cool. Hard to turn this voice off, but the game is fine. It definitely delivers. So you're thinking about the different ways that the game compares from one to the other. You can't help it. You're saying, yeah, I'd like to just play the game and just appreciate it for what it is. But you're also saying, yeah, but there's some parts of me that I can't turn that voice off in my head that does compare it. That makes sense to me. Yeah. We'll just do the best we can with what we have. It's never our goal to play to win as a pro. It's our goal to have fun. Yes, Soren Denmark, that's the way I look at it. Not here to be a pro, here to have fun and play. Let's see. So scrolling on down, Soren also continued and said that it's like the reason that they love to play Heroes 7, because it's different from Heroes 3, and they like the skill system. It's great that not every Heroes game has to have the same skills. I definitely agree with that as well. Part of the joy of like Heroes 4, for example, is that Heroes 4 does play differently than the other versions up to that point. It was very, very different. And some people didn't like that, and that's the reason why Heroes 4 sometimes is seen as less than the other games. But I think that there's still a lot of quality reasons to play Heroes 4, absolutely, because it is different. Out of curiosity, E-Bugle has asked, have I looked at any of the spiritual successors to Heroes of Might and Magic, like Songs of Conquest or Heroes of Science and Fiction? No, I have not yet, but at some point I do plan on it. There's a lot of great players. Winnie Maru, for example, has played a lot of Songs of Conquest, and they seem to really enjoy it and have a lot of fun playing it. I think that I should play Songs of Conquest soon, but it's all about timing. So many great games, so little time. Roman indicates that they love the Heroes 2 graphics, the Heroes 3 magic system, and the Heroes 4 idea of units being recruitable every single day. And the deeper skill advancing in Heroes 5, meaning that every single game has something. What a good way of looking at it. Yep, that really spells it out in a really nice way, I think. Soren Denmark says, if you don't like the graphics in Olden Era, then you definitely don't like Songs of Conquest. Well, I'll have to take a little bit more of a gander there. Okay. Liquid Yetti has asked, oh, this was probably forever that he asked this ago, and I just haven't gotten around to this because I'm so far behind on chat. Liquid Yetti asks, have you experienced any bugs in your games? I've reported several, especially hero freezes when leveling stats or issues entering into some castles. Folks, my favorite bug I've encountered so far is I accidentally turned a stack of Medusa into black dragons. I was trading between two heroes on the road between my two castles in a different game, and in the midst of trading, I had to like double click to get units to move from one section to the other, and at some point a stack of like 18 Medusa turned into a stack of 7 black dragons. Now, I had 7 black dragons in my forces already, and so I thought, well, this is probably just a graphical error. It's probably not going to let me play with these additional black dragons. I was wrong. It gave me a grand total of 7 plus 7 black dragons, and I used them in the next fight, and the stats made sense, and the stats worked up. I tried to replicate the bug, and at that time, I was able to get the bug to the point where I was able to take a stack of like 6 Vampire Scholars that I got from a Pandora's box, and I turned it into like 37 Vampire Scholars. So is the game done yet? No. Is the game still bugged? Yes. There's lots of fun things. I don't know why that worked. I don't know if I could replicate it again, but I do know that it's almost like Stack Overflow. As the game gets further and further into the playthroughs, I think I was at like month 3 or 4 because I was taking my time to get all the daylight spells. I think that there comes a point where there's just too much information for the game to try and keep track of. That's the only thing I can think of. Or maybe it's because I was clicking through so many days so quickly. I don't know, but it was a pretty nifty bug. And then of course I've seen bugs where I'm just unable to move my hero. I've seen issues related to I've had heroes wandering around with no units before. Yeah. So I've seen some bugs too, and I've reported them as well, but can I replicate them? That's the question. That's the question, Liquid Yetti, and I don't know the answer to that. I'm not a game designer. I wish I was. And Soren Denmark, you do know that you can recycle artifacts for dust in the artifact merchants? I'm guessing. I don't know. So if I go to my artifact merchants, say I just build an artifact merchants. Yeah, so then I should be able to trade here, right? How do I recycle my artifacts for dust? I actually don't know the answer to that. Soren Denmark, let me know. And McFall says, do you have any factions you wish would appear in future expansions? Personally, I would love to see dwarves again. Folks, we've got to have Titans. We need to have a barbarian faction. The fact that there is no barbarian faction is actually a problem. We need to have a barbarian faction, 100%. Okay? I would like to see Tower in the sense of you need to have Titans or like those types of wizards. You got to have something like that. This is going to sound interesting. I did like the idea of like a pirate faction, like we had in Horn of the Abyss, but that's degrees away from how important it is to me to get a barbarian faction. I think a barbarian faction and a wizard faction is absolutely top priority. You have to have those two. You must have Titans and you must have some barbarians. It's got to be. It's got to be. Thor in Denmark agrees though. Oh, there you go. They need to get a barbarian and a wizard faction back into the game. They've been in every Heroes games and belong in this universe. Absolutely. And whatever lore reasons, people might be like, well, no, they don't really need it. I disagree. I don't care about the lore reasons. Give me what I want. Give me a barbarian faction and give me some wizards. It must be. Must be. And Fellow, yes, we need Crag Hack. Yes, we do. Hello, Fellow. Filio, nice to have you here. Welcome, welcome. It's a pleasure to have you back. Yep, we got to have Crag Hack. If we don't have Crag Hack, then nothing else makes sense. Nothing makes sense anymore if we don't have Crag Hack. So there you go. And Soren Denmark says, no, under the artifact, you don't have the equipped. It's a little button to click when you are in the hero screen. So I go to the hero screen. So here, there, is this the button? Are you sure you want to delete the artifact? You will receive 5 alchemical dust. See, there's lots of these little buttons that if you don't know what they are, unless you're like specifically poking around to figure out what they are and what they do, you're not going to know. Like, this is wildly unintuitive. No, I did not know that I could disenchant like that, but I like that. I think that's a really good deal. How do I feel about it being in a hero without like a specific upgraded building? I think it's good that a hero can do that. Yeah, I don't think that's too bad. I do wonder, like, so this epic adventure object, like the Helm of Heavenly Enlightenment, how much does that delete for? 30 alchemical dust? So it gives you 30 alchemical dust, and just so we're on the same page, for example, your tier 2 cultists, they take 20 alchemical dust. Aga'Shoth stables, that's 30. Your Concubus, it takes 50 alchemical dust to upgrade them. Your Arbitrators need 75. Yeah, and it's pretty standard. I think it's like 100 alchemical dust for like cave dragons into black dragons. It looks like it's 100 here. So I don't know. That's kind of interesting to me. I don't know if the numbers are correct, because I think that this Helm of Heavenly Enlightenment, I think that it's worth way more than 50 alchemical dust, but that's just me. Maybe it's literally so that way you can get rid of artifacts you don't need, I guess. That makes sense to me. But anyway, eBugle says they could use more tooltips for sure, but that's why we have early access. Yep, I agree. Yeah, and they are listening to feedback. They are doing a good job listening to feedback, so I will look for more tooltips in the future. Sounds good to me. Filio says, probably my biggest problem with Olden Era is buying units without any sound. Yeah, you need clicking and you need stuff. I agree. Heroes 5, you had falling coin sounds and other heroes click sounds. Yes. So some additional sounds there would be lovely. Yeah, there's got to be a sound there. I need some auditory feedback. That's going to be actually really important. Auditory feedback, there's lots of games where if you play without the sound effects like that, you don't realize how soulless the game feels without it. So I think that we need some additional ways of feedback there. And yeah, I don't know. I think there's a lot of things that are small polish aspects that they can't focus on yet, because there's so many other major overhauls coming for other core mechanics. But you're completely right. As far as like user experience, that's going to be a big one. Clicks there. I think that like the horse sound. I think that the horse sound's okay. I think that's fine. I think that I need, not just want, but I actually need that when I go to a dwelling or a gingerbread house or whatever, I need a small window of text to read. Even if I'm going to click through it immediately, I want it. And I know that Heroes 3 had it in like the bottom corner and they kind of hid it away. I know that maybe this is a Heroes of Might and Magic 2 fans' opinion, and maybe it's not what they're going for with Olden Era. But I think that the cozy factor that other Heroes games provide comes from the in-game flavor texts. And without those, the game feels very much like I'm just trying to play a competitive game. And that's not why I play Heroes. I play it for a lot of different reasons. The strategy and tactical depth, that's a huge reason why you continue to play Heroes of Might and Magic. But I also play it for the adventuring. And so just, you know, that I need more. I need more than just a little thing that says, hey, I picked up 8 ore. Anyway, just my 2 cents. Okay, alrighty. I'm caught up, folks. E-Bugle is reminding me that I need to go take a break. I agree with that. And yeah, so I'm gonna take a break right now, but we will come back in about 5 minutes. Don't go anywhere. You need to stretch, you need to get some hydration, as do I. And so we will be back here in just a couple of seconds. Thank you for the time, and I'll be right back. Thanks, bye. Okay, we are back. Welcome back, everybody. It's a pleasure to have you here. Let's do a quick recap. So we are currently on month 1, week 3, day 5. We picked up all of our different forces that we can here in our starting castle of Banarach. We've got a second castle that we were able to find up along the main road from this starting position here. We followed the road up, 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 up. We picked up our +1 Mercury per day. We've picked up our gems. We picked up our crystal, and we came over to this castle of Endless Spiral. And we've kind of been using it as a little bit of a piggy bank. We got all of the resource generating items, except for maybe the resource depot. I just don't think that we need that since we're getting +4 Mercury per day. And we are starting to now get the second castle built up so that it can also bring us lots of high quality troops. It is currently only up to the tiers. Let's see, tier 3 creatures. And then also the Concubus. It looks like the build path for the Grand Shoth is a little bit not along the way. You kind of got to go out of your way for the Grand Shoth. So interesting there. We are doing a pretty good job with our faction law points. We are using them up as much as possible. It looks like I'm mostly going for, it looks like my tendency is to go for hard economic starts. I know that that's maybe call it a weakness of mine, that I prefer to make sure that we have no economic problems. And so a lot of the economy side, the faction side, I put a lot of points into that and not so much into my army side. Maybe I should make some adjustments as we go on, but pretty soon we're going to be up to the 4th tier of faction law points. We'll be excited to use that as soon as possible. We have decided that we're going to continue to clear out our starting biome area, and then we will head to the very center in this single hero mode. So lots of stuff to do. And for the first time, we see the Pauper Knight Order, which will give you +2 attack or defense for the 1,000 gold. Let's grab that. It'll be a quick little fight through these creatures here. By the way, what do we think about this, folks? Do you like that you have the ability to fight multiple creatures, multiple neutral creatures at any given time in battle? So in this case, we've got the tier 1 Shoth we're up against, the tier 2 Cultist upgrade for the votaries, and then we've also got the tier 3 Aga'Shoth Mathas. Do you like that it's not just a whole group of the Shoth or just a whole group of the Cultists, etc., etc.? I kind of think that this is a big bonus that other Heroes games could really use. I'm thinking about F Heroes 2. I think the F Heroes 2, for example, would be well served if you could have multiple creatures in a neutral creature battle. But that's just me. Those are the things that I think about. I think that is actually a really cool opportunity here for Olden Era to use. We're going to remember that these guys are really, really fast. I'm going to immediately cast the web ability that we picked up. I want them to be much slower than they currently are. We're going to hit wait a couple of times. These creatures all have to come to us. Let's let them all come to us, and then we will do some damage wherever we can. I'm going to move my creatures kind of, I don't know, kind of going to want to, yeah, I'm going to want to do damage where I can. I could definitely do damage here. Let's take out 1 full stack of their cultist-like creatures. We've let the enemies come closer into range, so that way our ranged creatures can do a little bit more damage. That's my hope anyway. And it looks like these Aga'Shoth Riders are going to be, yeah, even though we slowed them down with the web, they're still going to have high initiative. They're still going to be able to make it all the way across this battlefield very quickly. We should do as much damage to them as we can. How far do they reach? Into the cultists, but they did not break through my cultist stacks HP shield, right? Because you get additional creatures that are summoned for our special ability. So that feels great that they were able to do a lot of damage to us, and we were able to just kind of face roll it. We face tanked the damage, and we'll take no losses. No losses sounds great to me. And folks, we have the choice between basic economy, basic offense, and basic summon avatar. Friendly creatures, basic attacks deal additional damage. Economy, you get additional gold. I think that we're good on gold. I think that we're fine with gold. We invested early. Gold's not a problem anymore. And then basic summon avatar, which will allow you to summon a new creature as a spell. I really like the avatar. I think the avatar is super good. But I always go for the summon avatar, so let's actually go for the basic offense. No, basic summon avatar is so good. I'm going to take it, and we're going to show you why I think it's so good. This fight up here, we're going to go back and fight this fight that I didn't want to fight before, because now we have this one single spell. It's crazy, but it's that good, in my opinion. Do we want the attack or the defense? I'm going to go for the attack here. That's going to bring us up to 16 attack, 13 defense, 9 spell power, and 3 knowledge. 3 knowledge? Wait, what? 3 knowledge? Oh boy, you are dumb. You are not the brightest bulb out there, my goodness. Huh. Okay, for the first time, we're gonna fight this sort of creature. I don't love this fight. Oh, we're not gonna take any losses? Interesting. Yeah, our shield, our HP shields are just getting us through all this. These are gonna be the Coatls. These are a tier 6 neutral creature. They are not specific to any faction, insofar as I'm aware at this time. But they are tough to deal with. You can't really slow them because they've got this primal stubbornness, which prevents them from it prevents them from having spells last longer than 1 turn of combat. It looks like we're going to do a little bit of damage to them, and then they're going to fly across the battlefield. Who do they attack? They go for the Cultists. Yeah, and they're not going to do enough damage to actually harm the Cultists, which I am just fine with. 2 Coatls are not going to do enough damage to these Aga'Shoth. Yeah, it's a slaughter. When you just basically have an HP shield on all your creatures, man, fights are easy to take. I mean, they are really easy to take, and I am here for it. Looks like 11 are going to go down here. For the first time, we're going to use our new special ability. We're going to pick up the basic summon avatar. I'm going to summon them right here. They're usually pretty high initiative. Yeah, they're going to go before these fawns. And I'm going to do damage from afar, but they're going to just stop the ranged creature from doing any damage to us. Any damage whatsoever. Right here. Boop. And yeah, fawns can't even get through their damage. I can just fight from afar as much as possible and let this ranged creature do the damage for me. Or rather, tank the damage that otherwise would have been dealt to me. Still probably going to want to get the Cultists up there. I'm going to defend rather than let the fawns give some retaliation to me. And then with 68 fawns remaining, somebody's going to go up there and help this one basic avatar out. 1 and 2. 2 and 3. Defend. Okay, they finally have dispelled it. So even the basic summon still took a ton of damage. Like, we tanked a bunch of damage with that. And what that really does is it gives my other creatures a chance to charge down the battlefield and obliterate these guys. So really, I love the ability to use the summon avatar to take some of these ranged fights. It just is a low cost that helps you really avoid a lot of problems. And for the first time in this game, folks, we're going to come up to a Pandora's box. Gives an unpredictable but great reward. We're going to pick up 6,000 experience. We are going to, I mean, tell you what, I love arcane magic. We're going to go into arcane magic. Going to go into some arcane magic for ourselves, and we are going to go back to this black tower and pick up a second Pandora's box in just a moment. We're going to go on to day 6 of week 3, and oh look, simultaneous turns have stopped. Does that mean that the enemy has charged into my starting area? I didn't see anybody. Is the enemy like right here and I can't quite tell? That's interesting. That's interesting. I don't know what to expect from that. Usually I get simultaneous turn stopping when I go into the very center of the map. I'm wondering if that means that they've gone to here or if they've just gotten to the center themselves. I'm not too sure what to expect there. I'm excited to see. Okay, so eBugle says that they're a fan of different enemy creatures. Then let's see, heroes 4 and 5, Tribes of the East did that. So they got like satyrs, you got fawns. You guess in Heroes of Might and Magic 12, we'll finally get them both at once. So there's like a bank of different creatures is kind of what you're saying. and they're finding a way to slowly use all the creatures at once. I mean, let's be clear, there's only so many mythical creatures we can use at any one given moment. Like, it's not true. I'd love to see more mythical creatures. I feel a little bit bad though. There's a couple of, I don't know, I've heard some complaints. There's been some people that have said that they really disliked that for example, in the Sylvan faction, I think it's the tier 2 creature. I forget what they're called. Hoplets? I forget what they're called. But some people do not like their inclusion into the game. And I'm just sitting here being like, why? Like, it feels fine to me to have them, you know? They're new, they're interesting, and they've never been in any other game. It is kind of interesting that they are, oh, how could you say? I think that the majority of the medieval, let me try that again. I think that there's a lot of the different units that have come from mythology related to like European descent. A lot of the different creatures in the other Heroes of Might and Magic games are things that I'm more familiar with in my Western kind of disposition, right? Western games, Western sort of mythology. That's kind of where I've been more familiar with a lot of these different creatures that we've seen so far in Heroes games. And the inclusion of like the axolotls and other creatures that are maybe from like the East, it's interesting. It's interesting. But the only issue with that is that I don't inherently know how powerful something could be or should be if it's not in the lore that I'm intimately familiar with. I know about how strong a unicorn should be just based off of its mythology. I have no idea how powerful, you know, a concubus should be. I have no idea. I don't have any basis for understanding. There's no intuitiveness with, hey, how good is this creature? Again, that's not a bad thing, but it is some criticism, not criticism. It is some difficulty that other people have noticed is that when there's units that we are unfamiliar with that don't fit that usual strategy or that usual template or format, then there's something that it takes a little bit longer to kind of get on board as a player. Folks, we just picked up 10,000 gold from that Pandora's box, and we're going to pick up this Quiet Eye of the Dragon. Quiet Eye of the Dragon, +1 attack, +1 defense, along with this red dragon flame tongue. If we can find like some dragon bone greaves or something like that, we might be doing really, really good. If we get a third item, we get +2 to all attributes. Let's see if we can find another artifact from the Quiet Eye of the Dragon template. Oh, look, Ashen Dragons. Well, let's fight this just so we can see this creature. Let's see if they do the butt smush, the special ability that allows these creatures to just land on top of you. It looks like they're not going to get the opportunity, but it would be pretty funny if they did get the opportunity. The more different mythologies represented, the better, Bugle says. I agree with that. I do agree. There's, let's see. Yeah, there's just lots of ones I'm just not familiar with. And so when I see people criticizing and being like, oh, get this unit out of the Sylvan faction because I don't like it, I'm not familiar with it. It's like, well, get familiar with it. Just take the time and get familiar with it. Makes sense to me. 6,000 gold. I was hoping we'd get a nice artifact. We did not. And I'm still waiting to see if we're going to find an enemy coming down the road ready to do damage to us. This playthrough continues. We haven't seen an enemy yet, but it does make me feel like I need to step on the gas a little bit and go a little bit quicker here. We're going to go for the Advanced Summon Avatar, and we're going to have the Celerity. I like that when the Avatar speed and initiative is increased. I really like that, so we're going to do that right now. Looks like this is a Mercury storage, so 3 to 5 Mercury per week to the first visiting hero. Star Axis, +1 spell power. Goblin Cash, 1,500 gold. Good, good. And we are still remembering that we need to purchase other things in our other castle. It's day 7. There's the bloated dwelling right there. And interesting thing I just realized, folks, did you notice? I only just noticed, but the Schism faction only has a mage guild available up to level 4. You don't have access to a level 5 mage guild with the Schism faction. Now that's similar to the Temple faction. Temple only has access up to tier 4. Tier 5 spells though, pretty good. Pretty good. That might be a huge knock against the Schism faction. If you can't have access to 5th level spells just naturally, then we're going to want to go out and find a castle that we can get those from. So interesting that we're a very much spellcastery faction, but we don't have access to those tier 5 spells. Interesting indeed. experience, and more to come. Bammy says, I think it's quite the contrary. If you discover new creatures from different mythologies that you've never encountered before, you have the opportunity to discover something new and interesting without having to go out of your comfort zone by playing a game you're unfamiliar with. So it's contrary in the sense that I've never seen this creature before, so I get to have fun and figure out, like, hey, how strong is a Hoplet? Like, how strong should you be? And the game will kind of gauge it for me, and they will kind of let me know where they should be. So I'm learning about new mythologies because I'm playing Heroes of Might and Magic Olden Era. Yeah, I like that. I like that. And comfort zone, yeah, I think that it's all a conversation revolving around comfort zone. When people say that they don't want these new, nifty, interesting creatures, I think that that's where you run into the issue where it's like, yeah, people want to have some fan service. People want to have games and a hero's experience that is within their comfort zone. And so for the people that just instantly dislike Olden Era because it's too different from Heroes 3, that's a comfort zone issue. Likewise, if there's units that they're not familiar with or comfortable with, it's a comfort issue. So what I'm hearing is we all need to get out of our comfort zone and enjoy the game. That sounds good to me. Let's do that. Let's do that. Roman, thank you so much for the time being here. Yes, I'm glad that your family life calls. Happy you're enjoying the Olden Era stuff. I'm having a lot of fun with this, and I want you to have such a good time with your family. Sir, we will catch you around in the next one. So take good care, do good things, make good choices, and I'll see you when I see you. So thanks, Roman. Okay, 200 skeletons, nearly 150 of these ghosts. One thing I've noticed, and this is not good and it's not bad, it's just something I've noticed, is that from week to week in single hero mode, the strength of wandering creatures, it gets really high really quickly. I don't think that that's a problem, but it is just something I've noticed. And I don't know. I'm sure that it's all comparative. Like, comparatively, compared to all your other forces, it's not that big of a deal. Your forces in your castle are going to get much stronger than these creatures will get strong on the adventure map on the neutral creature side. I'm sure that that is the case, but also, what is my secondary or tertiary hero to do? It feels almost like you are pigeonholed into using your primary hero as opposed to secondary and tertiary heroes with smaller forces. I don't have as many opportunities to use those heroes with these offshoot armies and less stats. Yeah, my best hero can clear the adventure map, sure, no problem. But what of my secondary heroes? That's kind of what I hope for. I hope that my secondary heroes are still more than just resource collectors. I still hope that they can fight some fights for me, if that makes any sense. Attack or defense, let's get equal stats. 18 attack, 18 defense. We'll fight the 2 dragons. I'm expecting no losses. There are none. And folks, ooh, I love this artifact, Endless Bag. This artifact is kind of cool because when it is placed into your hero, you will get +1 gems, crystal, or mercury daily. So for me, that's going to be 1 mercury per day. Even though we've already got so much mercury, I just like the idea of free resources. That was pretty good. Although, -1 morale to enemy creatures, that's also pretty good. It's also pretty good. I'm just saying. Hey, I'm just saying. 10 alchemical dust. Another Pandora's box. What are we going to get here? Okay, we need to fight this fight because this is the tier 2 creature I'm talking about. Yeah, it is Hoplets. Yeah, I did have that right this whole time. So it's the Hoplet is the tier 2. And I saw some people like, I don't like it. And I'm like, why not? Just enjoy it. Okay. But these are interesting. These are the Crystal Iriads. These guys have got one of the coolest abilities. So starting off with the Crystal Iriads, they got the Area Strike, which is AoE damage, Embodiment of Earth, so they've got some specialities like resistances to certain spells. But then they've got this Crystal Thorns ability. Whenever an enemy attacks this creature in melee, 1 units from the attacking stack just dies. Works on creatures up to tier 6. So this isn't, you can't send Crystal Iriads into a stack of dragons, for example, and have dragons just die 1 by 1 by 1 against these guys. But you used to be able to. That's already a change that they've made since the time that this unit was teased or released to like Reddit and through the Unfrozen YouTube page. So already they've kind of had to rework this a little bit so it only affects creatures up to tier 6. But imagine having a single stacks of these creatures and the enemy only has melee creatures. You are going to mandate that they take some losses. I think that that's a cool ability. I'm glad that they've kind of buffed it in that way, or rather brought it into some balance by allowing it to only affect up to tier 6 creatures. Looks like these also have the Earth Shatter ability, so all enemies within a 2 hex radius can only attack this creature until the end of the round. I guess that is essentially your taunt spell. So you have a taunt, and if you get attacked, you're going to kill some creatures. I think that's pretty nice. Now, the Hoplets are interesting because they're flying, they're melee, they're damaged. It looks like they're a standard tier 2 creature. They have this Leeching Hop ability. It takes 15 mana from the enemy hero. Mana is transferred to this creature's hero if present. I got a feeling that these guys are going to cast this every chance that they get because they just hate my hero, and they hate my mana supplies. By the way, we only have 50 mana total. We need to improve that. That's for sure. Okay. Down to 67 to the Hoplets, and I don't know. I don't know the best way to fight this fight. Do I have a firewall? No, I don't. I wish I had a firewall. I have found that the firewall ability in Olden Era is actually ridiculously good. Like Luna from Heroes Might and Magic 3 levels of good. So I'm very excited for that. Oh, look how they move. I like that. Look how they move. That's kind of cool. I liked how they moved, like just like all right, I like that. Let's see, I'm gonna need to kind of move my forces out of the way a little bit. If I do move into these little pockets, I don't think the enemies can reach me. Yeah, so I'm gonna just back off with the Cultist here, and then I'll have to move this creature right here in just a moment. So what if I do this though? I'm just going to move this Stinging Shoths right here. Maybe the Hoplets will attack them. Oh, they probably will. Yeah, they probably will. So I'm going to move up. Let's get out of the way a little bit. Even though it costs me some damage, I'll do that. And then best spell here. We want damaging spell. Ice Bolt's not bad. Umbral Grip's not bad. Umbral Grip, 160 pure damage versus 185 magic damage. I mean, for the extra 3 spell points, I think that 20% reduced damage. If you're just trying to do damage, I think that's just better. We'll do that. We're going to wait on the Cultists. We lost 8 of our Shoths. Ouch. Not good. Do some damage here. Retaliation actually was a bit of a wallop. I might have underestimated these guys. Holy cow. Are we going to get out of this fight without major problems? I don't know. I actually don't know anymore. I do want to kill 17 and 22. I want to set myself up for a really nice fireball there. Never mind. Never mind. Because of initiative and turn order, I'm going to fight the Hoplets instead of these guys. Also, they didn't have a retaliation. Is there a good way of dealing with these guys? What if I... 1, 2, 3, 4. How fast are they? They're pretty fast. 4 speed. They've also got... Let's see. They've also got some other abilities on them. They can always do their Awaken Earth, then they'll get additional speed. So I kind of want to figure out a way to stop them. I don't have a sleep spell. Even if I did, I don't think it would affect them. I could try this spatial snare trap. Okay, what if? What if I just do 1 here and 1 there? And if they step there, then they just stop and they lose their turn. What if? I don't actually know. I do not know the answer. I'm going to use my... Oh, it's got to be a dead creature. I was trying to use my summoning right. I think I got to lose all 9 of these Mantis Shoths in order for that to work. So I'm going to wait here. We'll kill the 19 Hoplets here. I'm going to wait. I'm just kind of hoping... Yeah, I'm just kind of hoping I can avoid losing any forces in this fight. Some damage. Oh, well, you got to do that. I really wanted the creatures to kind of go right into these traps. It looks like that's not going to be necessary. Oh, well. All right. Aha! There, you see? Look at that. Hold on. Dude, you walked right through my little trap, and then you attacked anyway. So, spatial snare can't take actions and skips a turn. So you walked right through it, and so what happens? Does it only impact you on the next turn? If that's what it is, I think that's kind of lame. I was anticipating that if I cast that, you'd step there, and then your turn would be over. And if that's the case, it's a really good spell. If it's like, oh, hey, you still get to attack and move for the end of this round, it's kind of lame. Okay, we're gonna do some testing. Hold on, everybody back off. We're gonna see what happens. Okay, so they do lose their turn for the next round. Okay, so this tier 4 spell, I don't know if that's any good. This tier 4 spatial snare spell places 2 invisible traps on the ground. The trap will disappear, and then next round in combat, they don't get any turns. Okay, all right. I don't know how I feel about that. I don't know. It's a good spell. It's a good spell. I'm sure that I could use it better. How about that? Let's try to find a way that Pixfox can use that spell better. 12,000 experience. Let's do that. Expert summon avatar because it's just so good. We will work on summons. Friendly creature ability summons 50% additional creatures. Does that stack with expert Abyssal Communion? I don't know, but I want to find out. Dammy says, yeah, I don't see what's wrong with it. It's just like a forest spirit, same as a dryad, or like, except instead of being humanoid, it's a silly creature. Okay, how about this? I know that a lot of people were upset at these kitten horns. There was a lot of people that thought that these kitten horns were like not a very cool creature. And I mean, I know that they're cats, and I know that they're more whimsical and fun. I actually like the idea of the fun whimsical, or like just like the interesting, more trickster-like vibes. I don't think it's a bad vibe. I think it's a really good vibe. So I think that you're completely correct on that, Mammy. I think that that's correct. Nerf was the word I was looking for. Thank you. Nerf, buff, you got it. Folks, we just had a raid. Mushanki Pet is here. Hello, Mushanki Pei. How you doing, sir? Mushanki Pei is a Factorio aficionado. Mushanki Pei is a Heroes mastermind. Mushanki Pei is a wonderful individual. So if you're not familiar with who Mushanki Pei is, go check them out. I'm a big fan of them. So thank you for being here, Mushanki Pei. How are you doing? And are you playing Heroes of Might Magic Olden Era? And if so, are you enjoying it? We're playing the Schism faction here for ourselves, and we're learning lots, we're failing forward, and having a nice time. Overall, we're having a nice time. So hopefully everybody is having a nice time with the game. I think that there's an awful lot of good to be had. How about that? Infiltrators, yeah, looks like this is actually a bit of a bigger fight that we want to take. Let's see how this goes. Also, Vammy says, interesting that they have like a death stare on the level 3 creature. I feel like it's always been a high tier ability. Third level creature insta-killing even a level 6 creature sounds kind of broken. I kind of agree. The crystal Iriad, the tier 3 creature from the Sylvan faction. I know it's only one creature, but single stack, they can do an awful lot of damage with that. So I agree with you. I really do. This is bad. I definitely don't want these Guile infiltrators to get a piece of me. I'm going to just cast my web ability immediately, and then we will figure out where everything else goes. Let's see. Furfine's here. Hello, Furfine. Nice to have you back. Welcome. And Mushanki Pei. Oh, you just faced your first Olden Era run. Tell me, how did it go? A fair and square, 150% difficulty with Necro. Did you get a huge stack of Necro creatures by the end of it? Mushanki Pei, I must know. How big was your stacks by the end? Do you think that Necromancy is in a good spot? Does it need to be buffed? Is it right where it needs to be? Give me all the information you can. I want to know because I have not played an awful lot of Necromancers, so I'm excited to see what you say. So, let's see. I am not looking forward to taking the damage from these infiltrators. This is going to be super bad. Even with the web ability, these guys are still too fast. Goodness gracious. Did they skip their turn? They might have skipped their turn. I think that the Cultists will kill one full stack, but I don't think that they can reach... they might be able to reach if I move the Raw Shoth out of the way. Maybe. I'm out of spell points. I got 2 spell points left. Let's just heroic strike where we can. Let's get our damage off. Let's get our hands messy. Rather than defend, let's go out and attack. Let's go do some damage. 2 damage there. Bit more damage there. And we still got some additional riders for us here. We cannot reach. Unfortunately, we cannot reach the big stack. Maybe if I do the Glance of the Abyss, maybe they'll take the damage right when it's their turn. 54 down to 34. That was okay. That still saved us a healthy amount of damage. I'm okay with that. And then Cultists, yeah, they're still staying alive. Here and here. 32 to 34. Sweet. All right. The battle is won. Wasn't pretty, but I don't think we even took any losses. Yeah, I don't think we took any losses. Perfect. We'll go with that. A couple of spells goes an awful long way for us. And we'll go with the advanced arcane magic as I check out what's going on over here. Let's see. Dorith's ability for the additional value to the arcane spells. All life is endless, plus 30% healing and revival from friendly creature abilities. 30% revival. That sounds like the raw Shoths summoning ability. I'm going to take that. All life is endless. We're going to take that. And then we will take Twilight. I really like Twilight as a spell because it prevents the enemy ranged creatures from doing ranged damage. So we're going to take that in just a second. Cool. And let's see. So Mushanki Pei says, I don't like necromancy, or I don't feel like necromancy was OP. You basically gain a little bit of everything after each fight. So after each fight, you will get a couple of liches, you'll get a couple of skeletons, you'll get a couple of vampires, sort of thing. And that doesn't feel broken. That feels okay to you. Better or worse than getting lots of skeletons every single time you fight a fight. You don't have a big power stack of skeletons, so tactically there's maybe some issues there, but overall, I'll be interested to hear what you have to say about that. Whether is that better or worse, getting a couple of high tier creatures, or if you'd prefer to have the power stack. E-Bugle says, also very excited to hear how the necromancers are. Heroes of Might and Magic 2 is what made me fall in love with the concept of necromancers. They got it so right. As early as Heroes of Might and Magic 2, game developers got the concept of necromancy so right. And it makes me really happy that they did, because we might have dodged a bullet. It could have actually not been so good. They could have made a couple of judgment errors, or maybe they didn't rework it to the appropriate level. I'm very glad that they got it so correct right at the beginning. Folks, our stack sizes are fairly low, and we are so very close to home. Let's grab a couple resources. We're going to stay the night at home in the Mage Guild first thing in the morning. And, oh, do we have any upgrades we can make? Not really. We're going to get up to our 4th level Mage Guild. We'll pick up the Great Library first thing in the morning. And oh boy. We've got a lot of resources, but I'm still scared that an enemy is going to come shooting out of this area in just 2 seconds. Mushanki Pei says, I played the hero that starts with the better reanimate dead and combined that with the liches who have the resurrect ability, so I never lost troops out after each fight. Continuing on, Mushanki Pei says, mostly beat all neutrals with skeleton archers and liches and the slow spell. And after month 2, when my hero was strong and I got all the teleportation spells, I just rampaged the map in a few weeks. Did you feel like the auto battle was able to effectively fight those fights for you, or did you end up having to babysit a lot of those fights and fight them yourself? I'm interested to know what you think about the auto battler. Mushanki Pei continues and says, neutral spells are definitely as OP as Dimension Door is in Heroes 2 and 3, and not in a good way. They're also very tedious to use. Now that's interesting. So they're exceptionally powerful, they're overpowered, but they are tedious to use. At this point, I think I've got access to... Yeah, I've got access at this point to Ground Sight, Second Wind, Primordial Chaos, Town Portal, Dimension Door, Shadow Flight, Reinforcements, etc., etc. So we're going to start to use these spells here, but I do believe that there's some limitations as far as how you can use spells to enter into these new biomes. So yeah, there'll be some interesting things there, but tedious to use. Knowing you can only use it once per day, yeah, I think that there's going to be some tedium. I do believe that that's absolutely correct. Okay. On to a new day? No, maybe not. Let me do this real quick. I'm going to drop as many of these forces here as I can. We'll keep Cultists. I do want to head back up to Endless Spiral. So for the first time, folks, we're going to cast Town Portal to Endless Spiral. And we can only cast it once per day, so I'm going to end my turn here. And then I'm going to pick up all the forces I have. And then I'm going to Town Portal back to Banarak. I feel like I have to say it with that little something in my throat, Banarak. But now we've done a pretty good resupply here. I just don't have the chemical dust. For any more upgrades, let's get rid of this sash. And what do we want to upgrade? Let's upgrade our Cultists. So we've already are up to the Stinging Raw Shoths. Let's take the Cultists. I'm not sure which one's the best, actually. The Binders or the Votary. It looks like if we go to our upgrade tab, it'll do a nice job in kind of helping us figure out what's best. Oops. Here. So defense, attack, speed. More defense, more attack, more speed. I think that the Votaries, yeah. I think that these are more melee combatants. Like they're supposed to be more tanky, and these guys are supposed to be more spellcasters. So I'm gonna go with the binders over the votary. Yeah, let's go with the binders. So they're the darker cultists, and so if I click on that now, when I hit buy all, I should buy all in a pretty good way. So folks, in case you haven't noticed, we just got much stronger. Hold on. Why are there so many different? Where'd you come from? Okay. All right. And now we've got our full army for the first time, folks. I think that we are going to be able to fight any fight easy battles everywhere we go. Easy battles all day, every day. We're gonna have a good time. Okay. Furfine says it's time for them to go. Have a nice day or evening. Furfine, have a wonderful time. Always a pleasure to see you here. We'll catch you around in the next one. Naomi says, did they bring back the purple necromancy juice from Heroes 5? Asking Mushanki Pei. Yeah, right on. Furfine says, thank God, no. Okay. And Mushanki Pei is doing all fights manually, which is probably the most correct way of doing this. At this point, I don't want to say I'm being lazy. I'm going to fight this fight because I definitely want to see how this fight goes with all these additional forces. But yeah, fighting manually versus the auto combat, there's a lot to be had there. A lot of the enjoyment is in whether or not you fight the fights. I just know that when I'm streaming, I've only got so many hours to stream before I just can't play anymore because I run out of steam myself. I've only got so much constitution. And so auto battle does save me a lot of time. Mushanki Pei continues though and says, the thing is, when you have all the neutral spells maxed, you can use each of them 2 or 3 times each turn, which is a lot of clicking. I didn't realize that they maxed out so you could cast them 2 or 3 times a day. I thought it was just like a mandated once per day. Interesting. Tells you what I know. Mushanki Pei continues on, overall, I've enjoyed my time during my run, and I think I got the grasp of it for future runs. Gameplay has a very solid basis, but I'm a bit concerned by the late game, and also by AI performance because you didn't struggle at all. Makes sense. Yeah, I agree with all of that. I don't think that the AI, I don't know how much they're going to invest in the AI. I think that their hope is that it's going to be all player against player, because then you don't need an AI at all. Yeah, so we'll see how they do with that. I'm concerned about late game fights because it seems pretty clear to me that the late game fights, I don't generally, I get to the end of the playthrough and I fight in like single hero mode, and the auto combat just says I win because I've done a better job leading up to that point in getting Pandora's boxes and beefing up my hero. The AI does leave a lot to be delivered or a lot to be desired because they do not fight that final fight very well. And if I can just auto combat that final fight and win, feels kind of bad. E-Bugle says, sounds like Heroes of Might Magic 3 Dimension Door at max air magic. Yeah, lots of value there. And it's good. Like, Dimension Door is fun. It's fun to use. It's fun to have a nice time with. But there are some issues, I'm sure. Real quick, before we do anything else, I want to Ice Bolt. I want these Griffins to be lower in their initiative. 10 initiative, my word. Tough crowd. Mushanki Pei is not interested in PvP at all, so the templates that are PvP oriented are definitely not for me. Waiting for scenarios and campaigns. The scenarios and the campaigns have to be good. If the scenarios and the campaigns are not good, then the game is a failure. I will tell you that right now. I completely feel like that's important to note. As good as the PvP can be, if the campaign and the scenario is not good, we've missed the option. Missed the options. Soren Denmark says, you come to a point that you're just fight all the battles the same way? Yeah, the best spells are the best spells, and then the alternative options are not really worth having there. E-Bugle is going to be a single player person as well. Yep. Mushanki Pei does say, worse, it's because it's multiple spells, so you have to open your book each time and find the right spell to press. Would it be nice if there was a hotkey? Like, you could hotkey H for Dimension Door. I don't know why you wouldn't hotkey D for Dimension Door, but you know what I'm saying. Maybe that would be useful in the future, so that way you didn't have to go to your spellbook. That'd be interesting. Oh, okay, folks, let's see. Right now, we are currently on our new Abyssal Envoy, Tier 7 creature. Whoa, 250 hit points, 51 defense, 49 attack, 35 to 70 damage. It looks like as a magical creature, they got some high morale and high luck. Very interesting. And high initiative. A low speed though, 4 speed feels kind of slow. 1, 2, 3, 4 hexes. Yeah, kind of slow when it comes down to that. But otherwise, pure resistance, they're immune to all magic damage. Now that's pretty good. being immune to all magic damage, that does make them a pretty quality unit. I do like that. And in fact, what that means then is that you can maybe use this force with a Armageddon, right? Armageddon spam, we can do that. I'll be looking forward to that. They have a special ability, Summoning Rite Envoy. Once per battle, summons a stack of Abyssal Envoys in place of an allied corpse. It's a really good thing that we got. It's a really good thing that we picked up our summon avatar, because we took the sub skill that adds 50% summon capabilities. That's really good. Okay, that's good. And then Will of the Abyss allows this creature to take one more action immediately after its first action. Oh, that's cool. I like that. It's really nice. Okay, so the Will of the Abyss, if I've got 3 focus points, 1, 2, 3, I can just take 2 turns. That's cool. And I think that means that the Energize spell is actually going to be really nice, because it can restore 1 focus charge. And so, actually, hold on. Yeah, if you get Energize, if you get Daylight Magic, you can use Energize and it'll take you up to 3 focus charges. That's really good. That's really good. For the Abyssal faction, that might be not just overpowered, but exceptionally good. Okay, we also have the Grand Shoth here. So that was, this is tier 4 creature. This was our tier 7 creature with the Abyssal Envoy, and now we're back to the tier 4 creature. First time we've seen them though, they are flying, melee creatures. They have the Frost ability. So, when attacking, it will prevent the target from gaining focus. That's kind of cool. And then they have a summoning ability as well. Once per battle, it summons a stack of Grand Shoth in place of an allied corpse. Huh. Can't have more than 22 units. You can't have more creatures summoned than what you have here. I don't know how best to use this then. Because cultists and your raw Shoth, like, you could sacrifice them so you can do some really cool summoning, but if you do, then you're going to lose them for future battles. Maybe the goal is to summon a stack of creatures with magic and then have them fight the fight, and then from their corpse, then you summon these creatures. But if it's like your summon avatar, it's only 1 creature, so you're only going to get 1 creature with the summon. Maybe there's like Summon Star Children. Maybe that spell, that tier 4 spell, could be very useful. I don't recall there being a lot of summons in this game. Heroes 4, for example, like you could summon satyrs and wolves and sprites and imps and skeletons and all these sorts of deals. Here in Olden Era, I don't recall there being a lot of summons. So maybe that's not the intended gameplay. I'm gonna have to look at all these summons, but note that there's multiple summons here. Summon here, summon here, summon here. Your tier 1, 4, and 7 creatures all have summons. Seems like a lot. Seems like a lot. Okay. Anyway. Okay. But we're going to wait on these guys as well. We're going to let the Griffins come a little bit closer into range. Let's see. I wish I had Energized now, actually. That would be really good. We're going to do some ranged damage. Zap. Very good. And I'm going to focus on this 1 stack of creatures. And for the first time, we come up to this new creature. This is the Arbiter. This is the tier 6 creature. So they are ranged attackers. They have paradoxical shots. Paradoxical shots. Ranged penalties are reversed. What? Deals 10% damage per hex to a maximum of 50% if the target is more than 3 hexes away. So the further away the enemy is, the more damage I do. The further away the enemy is, the more damage I do, whereas other creatures, the further away the enemy is, they do less damage. Okay, I can do that. Power of the Abyss increases the hero's maximum mana by 20%. That's really good. Ooh, that's really good, especially since all my heroes have felt kind of low on, well, this one hero's felt low on spell power. That feels pretty good. I like that. They have a special ability, Command Reposition. Moves a friendly creature to a free hex within 4 hexes of the initial position. So basically, these guys can do a free blink spell, and it's only 1 focus charge. That's pretty good. That's really pretty good. I like that. Alternatively, they have Command Fear, which will move an enemy to a free hex within 4 hexes of the initial position. Okay, so I can move people closer or away. In the meantime, I'm just going to do damage because I don't have a focus charge to really do anything with that yet. That's cool though. That's pretty neat. Pretty neat. I like that. Okay, my Shoths are going to get in. They're going to kill up to 25 Griffins. We're just going to take out one full stack. Very good. And I'm going to save this Heroic Strike. Yeah, I'm going to save this Heroic Strike. I think that I want to try and play around with these points a little bit more. Some of these special abilities. I could web. If I web, it's going to take these guys down in speed, but they're still probably just going to deal damage up here. Let's see. What's this web going to do? Yeah, so now they're only down to here. Okay, so web was actually really effective. Ooh, Griffins did 186 points of damage. They almost killed a full Abyssal Envoy. Don't like that. No, I do not like that, Sam I am. Okay, and then the Cultists. Look at that. So the Griffins just skipped their turn. Why would you skip your turn? That makes no sense. Consider that a problem with the AI at that point. So we're going to back off. I want to use one of my other special abilities. No, can't use that. Can't use that. I'm not going to use the Handcuffs ability. Let me try this. Command Fear. Oh, cool. Wait, and I still get to take my turn? Wait, so I do the special ability. Oh, and it does not end turn. Oh, that's really nice. So most abilities, if you use them, it will end your turn. For the Arbitrator, it does not end your turn. So you get to move people at will, and then you also get to do damage. That's cool. I like that. All right, I like that a lot. We do lose one creature there, but killing 150 Griffins, though, that's fine. That's totally fine. And folks, we've got this Sword of Judgment, legendary main hand weapon, +2 attack, defense, spell-powered knowledge. Do you think we're going to use that instead of the red dragon flame tongue? I think so. Oof. Pretty good. And does that mean, hold on. Yeah, it's a main-handed weapon, so I can't put it here. This is an off-handed weapon. I guess that means I just immediately turn this into alchemical dust, right? Is there any reason in a single-player mode not to do that? I don't think so. I don't think so. Okay. But yeah, Soren says that their skills are not as good, and so they're planning on doing the single-player stuff more than PvP anyway, right? Okay. In Hero 7, by the way, they mentioned that there's shortcuts. We were talking about saving clicks with Dimension Door and Adventure Map spells, and Soren says that you have shortcuts where you can place hotkeys to the left if you want. So that sounds pretty good. Sounds pretty good. If they could have that for Dimension Doors, I could see that being useful. Soren also says, but it's it requires you to lose a stack to use the ability. Yeah, you're required to lose a stack if you are going to use some of these special abilities like the summons. And that feels kind of bad because using a single stack or breaking off a single stack, I just don't know how effective that's going to be. I don't know if that's going to be better or worse than some of the alternatives. Anyway. Oh, Pixlock's wife. Hello, Pixlock's wife. Apparently she has sent me a few reminder texts. Let me just take a look. Oh, yes. Grab the cake pan, please. I'm here at my local library because that's where I stream from. And my local library has cake pans that you can rent or that you can check out from the library. And I've got a birthday coming up in my family for a special little guy. And so I'm very excited to be able to get them. It looks like it's going to be the party dino cake pan is what they're going to want. So we're going to do that. Pretty cool. So thank you, Fixfox wife. Good to see you there. Love you, dear. E-Bugle says it's a neat shooter ability. Yeah, these Arbiters are really kind of cool. Yeah, I like these guys. Yeah, the paradoxical shots. And so how about this? You can move creatures away from you so you do more damage to them. That's kind of funny. As they get closer, you're just pushing them away and you're doing more damage because they're always at bay. That's really kind of cool. I like that ability. That's really sweet. Bambi says, oh, it's a mortar. Yeah, it's a mortar. Yeah. It's further away, the better damage you do. E-Bugle says the reason not to dust the red dragon tongue would be if you thought you were going to get the full set bonus. Oh, what a good point. That's a really good point. I don't think that that's going to end up happening. Maybe it would. Maybe it should. Maybe it should. I'm not sure. But yeah, so keeping that around would be probably better. We're going to go for Expert Arcane Magic, +1 to all arcane spells. We'll do that for now. We just picked up this really cool artifact. What's it do? Heroic strikes deal additional damage. At this point, +1 damage per point of hero attribute stats. That's 20, 40, 60. That's an additional 60 points of damage. More if you count the morale. I think it's a good artifact. I don't know if it's legendary. I guess because it goes into this section here, it's like way better than a magic scroll. So let's do that, and then let's get rid of one of the scrolls. We already have Enlarged Dust from the Mage Guild. Okay, we do want to go to this corner here. Eerie Summoning Rite. We do want to have additional Abyssals. Our army. We got 4 faction law points to spend. I'm going to go for these Elite Arbitrators. Yeah, I'm officially a fan of them, so we're going to go for that right now. Free resources, gold, dead enemies, no losses. And then easy battle here. It's going to be 8 of these Abyssal Envoys, but even they can't stop us. We're just going to accept these results, and we're going to pick up 1 right now. The external dwellings are going to continue to get additional forces over time, which is nice. And it's also going to increase our capacity in our actual castle. So we're going to get an additional +1 per day for the rest of forever, I suppose. We do have our second castle here. I do kind of want to get this up to, there we go, up to our Abyssal Envoys now. So we've got all creatures purchased in all of our faction areas anyway. And I think you're only going to use alchemical dust to upgrade 1 castle at a time. I don't think you're going to want or need any more than that. We've pretty much cleared out our whole starting area. Yeah, I consider our whole starting area pretty much cleaned out, minus the kitten horns. I don't know. I could go in this direction, into this kind of, I don't know, is this desert? Is this, not desert, is this swamp? Is this like ashen dirt? I could go in this area. I'd prefer to go into the desert because I know that desert is generally better. So let's go home. Let's make sure we have full spell points. Maybe we just wait a couple of days. It's day 6. Yeah, we'll wait just a couple of days. In fact, what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave all these creatures at home, and I will go to the other castle of Endless Spiral. I'll sit here for not 1 but 2 days. It's day 1. It's a new month. Month 2, week 1, day 1. It's just another month. I'm going to grab all of these forces. We're going to go back home to Banarak. And I don't think I can upgrade the Aga'Shoth stables. Let's do that. And then go to our upgrades here. Let's keep it on the votaries. Let's go into either Aga'Shoth Tamers or the Aga'Shoth Mothsas. So there is a difference here. So you get an additional 5 hit points if you're going to go for the Mothas. If you go for the Tamers, you get additional attack and defense. So which is more important to you, the 2 extra attack and defense or the extra 5% hit points? I would think that the attack and the defense is better than the 5 hit points. Initiative is at 9 for the Tamers or 7 for the Mothas. Yeah, I think that the, barring special abilities, I think that the Tamers are just better. Let's look at the abilities though. So we got the Plow Through, removing bad morale penalties. Piercing Cold, so doubling the damage to any creature that they attack. Damage of magic spells. And then they've got this Icy Breath modifier, so they don't get anything extra. That's basically the Aga'Shoth Rider. They're just better creatures. And then the Mothas, they've got Aga'Shoth's Help. Deals 10% pure damage with basic attacks and counterattacks. Plus 10 pure damage per creature? That seems like a crap ton. That feels like a lot. Hold on. No. That can't be. You've got 6 to 7 damage here. You do 6 to 7 damage, and now you're gonna more than double that? Am I reading that right? Plus 10% pure damage per unit? That seems incorrect. Pure damage, I mean, if it ignores defense entirely, that means that they are excellent against tier 7 creatures. I don't know. I mean, that seems pretty good to me. It seems really good to me. Way better than just like the flat increase you'd get from the attack or the defense. And then what's this? Icy Spikes attacks. Makes an additional attack, dealing damage per the units. Pure damage to the target and all adjacent creatures. Does not end the turn. I think that wow. I mean, these guys are excellent just stats wise, but I think this is the play. Still not sure about the pure damage, but I'm gonna go with this as the upgrade. So good there, very good. And so let me make sure I get this correct. We want the purple guys. So we do not have upgrades to our tier 4, 5, 6, or 7 creatures. That's fine. And are there any other adjustments we need to make here? Yes, you need to be upgraded too. Here. Who else still needs to be upgraded? You're fine. Oh, you're not good. Binders? Yeah, binders. Oh, and here. All right. So now we got one full army. Very good. Yeah, I think we're all good to go. Cool. Great. Awesome. 4 points here. Inevitable destruction. When destroying artifacts, you gain 20% alchemical dust. Dang it. I wish I'd saw that before. This is a good first look because now we immediately realize that, oh, we should have waited. If you hold the artifacts before you destroy them for alchemical dust, you can get a lot of additional alchemical dust. That's really interesting. So hold on to your resources and to your artifacts when you're playing as Schism, because eventually you'll get to here. Call of the Deep. Your Schism hero spells and friendly creature abilities summon additional units. You got to go for that. That sounds great. Frostbite. Each round of battle, enemy heroes lose 6 mana. That's pretty good. I like that. Cold Shoulder. You can use involuntary summons in your Schism cities twice per week. Oh, that's the special ability. So we've got this. Let's see. Where is it? Here. For 5,000 gold, a couple of resources, you can get this involuntary summons. It allows the owner to recruit any creature from an external dwelling. So that is cool. Like here, for example, I could just have my Abyssal Envoy right here, right now. That'd be cool. It just saves me the time from having to go out and get that. Does that mean that Schism is especially valuable in one hero modes? I think that's what that means. Okay, folks, we got a battle here with some Mantis and some Gnats. We're gonna destroy them. Tier 4 creatures, tier 3 creatures. I don't want to lose an Abyssal Envoy, so I'm not going to accept the results. Let's see how this fight goes. 108 of the Hornets, pretty good creature, and then Vermilion Mantis, tier 4 creatures. They do have 3 adaptations where they can just freely get 20% bonus damage or 20% bonus damage reduction, or they can get +2 speed. So they're a pretty good unit. I'm just gonna, I don't know what to do here. I like web. I love web. Let's keep these guys as slow as possible. We'll do full skips all around. We'll kill half the stack of the Hornets. We'll kill most of the stack of the Hornets. Okay. And then I'm in range with my Cultists. Let's get some damage off. 83 down to 68 of these Vermilion Mantis. My Riders are not... I mean, I think I'm going to take a bunch of damage on this retaliation. I really don't want to do that. I'm going to do it, though. Somebody's got to attack. Somebody's got to do damage. 76 down to 66. So they broke through my hit point shield. It's gone. It's completely gone. Looks like we're going to finish off the Hornets with my tier 4 creatures. And we're going to kill 9 to 18. I think that, oh gosh, I think that I'm going to end up losing one of these creatures if I do this. Vermilion Mantis took 772 damage, and then they counterattacked for 323 damage. So right now, this unit is counterattacking for 320 something damage. I could get around that by doing my tier 2 weakening ray. I'm gonna do that, and then I'm just gonna pile on the damage. So weakening ray to remove the counterattack charge. We are surrounding them. We're getting lots of damage off. So it did cost us some of my riders, but now the stack goes from like 48 down to 7, down to 2, and we make sure that we don't lose one of our abyssals. So at the cost of 10 of these riders, I don't know if that's good or not, but it'll work. How about that? It'll work. E-Bugle says, okay, unfortunately, I'm going to have to go. Have a great rest of your day. To you. I'm saying to you, have a great rest of your day. Also, have a reminder that you've been streaming for over 3 hours, so it might be time for another break. You're totally right. It's been like an hour since our last break. Very soon, I will plan on taking a break. Thank you for looking after me. I've said this before, folks. I'm going to have to say it again. I have always relied on the kindness of strangers. I'm the kind of person that I've always relied on the kindness of strangers because, man, life is hard. And whenever we can help each other out and look after each other, good things happen for me, good things happen for you. So thank you for looking out for me. I really need that. I really appreciate you. And E-Bugle, thank you so much for the follow. Thank you for the follow there just now. It's a pleasure to have you, and it's a pleasure to have you in the future. I'm looking forward to seeing you on YouTube, here on Twitch, and in the Fixed Fox Discord. So we will catch you around when we see you. Take very good care. Have a great rest of your night. Bye-bye. Okay. Lesser summoning right? We can't purchase these creatures. There's no room in the army because we have the upgraded version. Whoop. We will pick up the rope belt. 12k experience. Very good. I don't know. I'm not going to take the siegecraft. Siegecraft is actually really important, I think, unfortunately, in Heroes of Might Magic Olden Era. I think it is, but I don't plan on actually fighting the enemy in their castle. So I'm going to take the luck. Aga'Shoth Riders. Okay. Black Tower. 2 black dragons, no losses. Deck of spells, what is that? Deck of spells makes all tier 1 spells available for the hero. We've enjoyed the runestone shards, and now we're gonna have this deck of spells. That's sweet. I'm gonna let go of this Borleth's Heart. +1 spell power can be upgraded an unlimited number of times. Unlimited number of upgrades. Oh, that's interesting. That's very interesting. I'm going to get rid of this endless bag of resources. With 56 mercury, I don't think it's going to be that useful for us. So I'm just going to let this go. For 20 alchemical dust, that sounds fine to me. Borleth's Heart, I'm going to hold on to that for now. We will see. And then after we defeat these 350 skeletons, we will take a free level up. Beastly Confidence. Friendly creatures have a 1% higher chance to land a lucky strike for each point of luck. Bonus is doubled if we have primal magic. We don't. We could always do always heads, where we get bonus gold and resources when we find piles of resources on the adventure map. At this point, I don't think that this is very useful. Myra's Chosen. Enemy's luck is reduced by 1 in battle. I kind of like these. I kind of like the sub-skills that reduce an enemy's effectiveness. I'm going to go for that. I'm going to go for that right now. And I'm going to ignore this gold. I'm going to ignore the kitten horns. We'll stop in because we're going to be on the road to the next thing. We've already got a mage guild. I'll do the level 3 mage guild. Yeah, and let's start to check one final thing. Okay, and this is the question. What spells do I want that I don't have yet? So we've got the web, we've got early start. We've got haste. Do we have haste? I don't think we have haste. We do have haste. Okay. So we got our slowdowns and our speed ups. We got our weakening ray. What other spells do I always miss if I don't have them? Arena's Touch, good. Sleep. Okay, sleep is actually one of those spells I would look forward to. Where is my mage guild? The little pool of water here. Okay. Early start, we've already got that one. Sometimes I like having that just handy. Oh, and we already have access to all tier 1 and tier 2 spells because we have those 2 artifacts, so we don't need anything else there. Not a bad spell to be able to attack before an enemy attacks me. Song of Power. I'm going to pick up Song of Power. So if you don't randomly roll a spell in your mage guild, you can pay for them in Olden Era. I'm going to pay to unlock Song of Power. 6 gems, 6 crystals, 6 mercury. This is going to allow me to reset the cooldowns of any target creature. And I'd love to get this upgraded even further. It would cost a little bit more alchemical dust to get up to the next level. Should I wait? I guess I'm going to wait anyway. Should I get rid of this? I think I'm going to. I'm going to get rid of that. And I'm going to go upgrade this 1 tier. And so now it's up to level 2. Dispels all effects that block creatures' attacks and abilities. So it's going to reset cooldowns, etc., etc. I do want to get it 1 level higher if at all possible. I don't have the alchemical dust for it. but it would make it so the creature may use use its abilities again in that turn. So I could like use one of my summon abilities. Okay, how about this? I could use my command reposition. I could cast Song of Power, and then I could use it again. I could use the ability again that day. Let's go out of the way for the kitten horns. We're gonna stay overnight for full spell points. Let's go get the kitten horns. Let's go get this alchemical dust. You're dead. Oof. We picked up 30 alchemical dust. Very good. We'll pick up the vulnerability spell. And we're about to go to the very center of this map. I don't know for sure. I don't know for sure if we're going to be able to defeat our enemies with what we have. This is probably the least amount of forces I've ever gone to the center of the map with. But at this point... Wait. Can I not? You've already upgraded this spell manually. Oh, you can only do it one time? Oh, not good. So if I get Daylight Magic offered, I want it. If I get it offered, I'm going to take it and have just an absolute rip-roaring time with it. Okay. All right, folks, we're going into the desert. We're going to follow the road, stepping on this Redwood Observatory. Huh. Well, this is not what I expected. I thought that this would take me into a different area. It looks like this is not what I expected. I thought that this would be like a kind of like a Jeebus Cross template where there's a desert with riches in the very center of the map. Not knowing the template might have cost me something here. 4 Scholars Observatory. We're gonna take the +2 knowledge. We're finally up to 8 knowledge. I'm not gonna go onto the road here just yet. I wonder if the enemy's been here. It looks like this black tower has already been cleared out. So somebody's been here. Ah, we found it. Thorin, Denmark. It looks empty. It does look empty. This looks very empty. But look who we found. It's Ylwari. But she's in a castle. Is this castle going to have lots of defenses? Should I attack? Should I attack? Mushalkipe has to go too. Hope you have a good time. Thank you so much. I think that this is going to be the final battle right here, right now. So, given the fact that we're about 3 hours in, rather than take a break, folks, we're going to fight this fight. We're going to get out of this playthrough. I don't know if we're going to win this fight right now or not, but with Ylwari's 6 attack, 13 defense, 10 spell power, 12 knowledge, we are definitely the better hero. We have 19 attack, 22 defense, 12 spell power, and 10 knowledge. So we are definitely the better hero. We've got more of our top tier creatures. We've got more creatures across the board. She's got more troglodytes than us. That's pretty much it. Let's fight this fight and let's hope for the best. Defeat! Can we do it? Can we turn a loss into a victory? Or is the castle wall going to be too much for us to overcome? Let's see what happens here. Folks, this is the game. Let's hope that the castle walls here aren't doing like 2 abyssal creatures deaths at a time. Let's see what kind of magic we can do. What just happened? Oh, she got to go first. Okay, so she got to go first. What's happened so far? So defense tower attacked the binders. We lost 10 of them. So 10 of our tier 2 creatures we lost. Okay, Ylwari cast Energize, so she got 3 focus charges. The Cave Dragon waited. The central defense tower attacked, did lots of damage. Okay. My Aga'Shoth Mothas, I lost 13 of them. Oh, it was AoE. So one of the turrets is an AoE attack damage. So I lost some of my tier 2 creatures, some of my tier 3 creatures, and some of my tier 1 creatures. Okay. And then Ylwari has advanced thaumaturgy, and she cast a second spell for 20 mana. So she cast Ice Bolt, and she cast it onto my binders, I guess. Yeah, and they cast on the binders. Okay. All right. Thank goodness we have this little recap of what just happened, because a lot of crap just happened and I wasn't sure what it was. Okay, so first and foremost, I'm going to attack the castle wall here. Ooh, even though the hydras are in it, I wonder if I've got the earthquake spell. If I have it, I'll cast it. I don't have it. There's a spell that will help you take out the enemy's defenses. We've already seen that the enemy's defenses are kind of a lot. There's kind of a lot there. Let's see, folks. I do have nice spells like Rewind Life. Got Radiant Armor. So Rewind Life is like a Resurrect. Radiant Armor is like a just flat reduction of damage. I can Vulnerability, where the enemies are going to take 20% bonus damage from all sources. I can summon some of these Star Children. 13 Star Children, it's like an AoE ranged attack. I can Sleep an enemy force. I can just Impending Fate and deal basic damage to everybody. Fireball, 110 points of damage potentially to 3 creatures, like these 3 creatures, 110, 110, 110. Wouldn't do that much. There's only 1 dragon and 6 of these hydras. The Medusa is going to be a bit of an issue. I'm going to have to watch that. Frodo the Blind. Hi, nice to have you here. Welcome, welcome. It's a pleasure to have you here. Whoa, I've watched you play Heroes of Might and Magic 2 quite a bit on YouTube. This game looks incredible. Well, you found us at the final fight of this playthrough because it's a 1 hero mode. So the winner of this fight takes all the marbles. So we will see how this goes, but it's a pleasure to have you here. Thank you so much for enjoying the Heroes of Might and Magic 2 on YouTube. We will never go away from Heroes of Might and Magic 2. We're always going to play Heroes of Might and Magic 2. But right now, we are definitely having fun with this shining new toy known as Olden Era. Okay, what about this? So because we rely so heavily on summons, what if we try and lose a stack of creatures and then summon a bunch of these abyssals? Would that work? I think that would work. What if we energized for focus points? What if I hasted so I could attack these hydras? Because I can only go to here. If I was hasted by, what, 2? Plus 2 speed, that wouldn't actually be enough. That would just get me to here. Alternatively, I do have Expert Summon Avatar. It's 530 extra hit points, deals 149 damage. It's a really good summon. I would like to deal with these Medusa if I can, though. 16 of them, they're gonna unload a bunch of damage. They're gonna unload so much damage in just a short amount of time. As are these dancers, these Jasper dancers. They're gonna do tons of damage. What's the best way of approaching this? Ylwari's already cast her 2 spells. So really, I think that what I ought to do, and this feels kind of bad because I want to do something flashy, I think that the best thing I can do is actually cast Sleep. So it's Nightshade Magic, tier 3. The enemy is going to fall asleep and can't take any actions. You can only use it once in a battle. But if I do this now, I can either take out all of her dancers who haven't gone, or I can take out her Medusa. And there's no recourse. The dungeon faction doesn't have a way to like reduce that. I think I'm best off doing that right now. I think that the dancers are actually the better unit, just because there's 107 of them as opposed to 16 of the Medusa. I'm gonna take out the dancers. They're now slept. That was the magic I did for this round. I don't think you can be mad about me for that. I don't think so. So we are waiting. We took a little bit of additional damage from something somewhere. Medusa did their AoE damage ability. Wow, we are losing a ton of creatures. I do have a heroic strike. I'm not going to use that at the moment. Let's just start to sally forth down the battlefield. These infiltrators are going to wait. My stinging raw Shoth, they're going to get some damage off. Let's attack. You're going to do half damage wherever you attack, so you might as well start attacking the Medusa. Oh, except Medusa have a, I forget, these are Medusa Queens. And so Medusa Queens have a counter shot. Counter attacks when struck with a ranged attack. I don't think that that's all the time. I think that was their one counter attack. So this other ranged Concubus, I think I can attack and I'm not going to take a retaliation. Sweet. Awesome. Great. Wonderful. All right, let's continue. 3 to 4. Down to 10 of the Medusa Queens. I guess I could command reposition my Abyssal Envoys 4 spaces up, and then they can reach the Hydras this turn. What if I do that? That actually sounds sick. Oh, that's sick. And so now they are repositioned. So they're gonna deal with these Hydras. I don't think they're gonna kill the full stack. I think they're gonna kill like 3 to 4. How about I help? What if I use my Arbitrators to actually help here? Okay. And that way for sure we're gonna get through this fight. I can't quite reach here. Still got, I'm gonna try and save my heroic strikes. Maybe it's time for this. Glance of the Abyss. 138 pure damage for the next 2 rounds. 138 damage and removes a counter attack charge for the Abyssal Tendril. This is a 1-time or a 2-time. Let's do the 2-time, but let's start working on. I can't do it on the Medusa. I guess I can do it on the Infiltrators, but I can't do it on the Troglodytes Does not affect magic creatures, undead, or constructs. Okay, magic creature, magic creature, magic creature. These guys are alive. Okay, gotcha. So by the way, there's limitations in the ways that spells can work. Interesting. Did you just walk through the wall? I think you just walked through the wall. Okay. Alrighty then. It's not what I expected. I think I can destroy these. Yeah, I can destroy these. I'm just gonna take my time. Nom 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 nom. Just ate that up. And then yeah, I do want to get into here. So let's actually take out the Hydras. 6 to 12 of these Minotaur Lords who have a parry, so they will counterattack before it lands. Or should I go straight for the Hydras like I'd earlier planned on? I think you're gonna waste damage if you attack here. Let's attack these guys. I counterattack, I lose 1, I kill 5. Not that many. Got all these stats. Attack, defense, and I'm not killing as much as I would wish I was. And the... Jeez. Initiative is such a good stat. Ylwari just absolutely takes her turn and just throws this in my face. Oh my goodness. Okay, so we gotta get caught up there. Soren says that looks like a bug. It looks like a bug, but McFall, yeah, there is an upgraded wall. So you can choose when you get walls, you can either have additional ways out. You can get a group of tier 1 creatures that will defend for you. And then there's a third option. I can't remember what it is, but I think McFall is right that this is actually one of those hidden passageways. It just looks weird because it looks like there's just like a glitched out wall section. Probably they're going to look to repair that later. I'm sure. Okay. So I'm trying to use my wall. Hold on. Why can't I do damage with my catapult? You got to toggle it on. Oh, there it is. And then you just gotta choose a wall section. Okay. It looks like I can get through. I'm not going to though at the moment. I'm just gonna continue to try and fight these Minotaur Lords. I mean, I could cast Sleep again. It'll last for a little while anyway. I think the Sleep is actually gonna be pretty good if I use that on the Minotaur Lords because they're a really powerful unit. Let's actually do that. That way I can ignore them for now. I can start to walk in. I'm gonna wait on my turn, and I'm gonna hope that I can get pushed forward with another focus charge in just a second. Okay, let's do that. 1 to 2. I can kill 1 to 2 of these Hydras. I'm trying to get into these enemies. I could do this. I could do Summoning Rite on the dead stack of the Shoths. Let's do that, actually. This is the first time we've used this. Is that going to give me 24 new ones? Gives me 21. That's pretty good. And now the 21 get in here, and then they're going to attack the Hydras for me. They mostly kill the stack. Cool. That feels so good, though. That feels so good. Infiltrators come across, and they do a bunch of damage to my Abyssal Envoys. Don't love that. Let's continue to work on the Medusa, though. 3 to 4. Yeah, 3 to 4. We take the retaliation. Okay. I'm not mad about it. And actually, hold on. If I attack here with my Aga'Shoth, then maybe the Abyssal Envoy can get into the fight. I don't know. 350 troglodytes. That feels like a lot. Is this a waste of damage? It's probably a waste of damage. Okay. And then, oh, this is on cooldown. The reposition's on cooldown. I guess I could reposition the other way, though. I can move the... I can move the dancers to right up here somewhere. It's so fun. Goodness gracious. Well, you might as well use your Command Fear, because I think it's the ability I want. The Sleep is about to wear off in these dancers. I'm just going to move them up to, like, here. So that way I can go to here, hopefully, and then attack troglodytes, maybe. Okay, these guys are too far away. These guys are too close. Let's kill 185 to 105 of these troglodytes. Killed 87. That feels pretty good. And, let's just take out the rest of these Hydras. Interesting fight. Thorin, okay, they may want to make it like a drawbridge then. Yeah, something to just help the clarity. I'm a big fan of clarity, and this feels like a clarity issue. Okay, we're gonna ignore the Minotaurs, who are too big for me. Look at this, I can't... So these guys could get in, but I can't get in now. And I can't attack in the direction I want to. Look. I have to attack from this hex. That's not correct. Soren says you may want to attack the Trogs with the ranged units that deal more damage the further away. Yeah, they're doing a lot of damage. They're doing a lot of damage. McFall says, I can already see the force teleport be so annoying in PvP. Yeah. But it's going to be a good time. I think it's going to be a great time. Okay, the Abyssals, I don't want to attack here because I don't want to take the retaliation. I want to get the summon off. But I also need another charge. All right, let's attack. We're gonna take a bunch of damage here. This feels bad. 5 down to 4. Another wall section. Yeah, I still can't get through. That feels gross. I kind of want these cultists to go down so that way I can do my summon on them. Once per battle, summons a sack of Abyssal Envoys in place of an allied corpse. I really want to do that. I want to do that. I don't think I can. I don't think it's going to happen. But having these additional 21 grand Shoths, that actually feels okay though. All right, at this point, let's just do damage where we can. We kind of waited last turn and it cost us a little bit. Feels really nice to be able to avoid that now. Good morale, feels great. Okay. Stack here is really slow. I could haste. I got a spell. I've always got rewind life. I can cast that multiple times. I don't want to waste it on a haste or something. Let's just get in here to deal with these creatures. Nice. That feels great. Yeah, and let's just take out the Medusa. Okay, perfect. Medusa are gone. And then this other stack, I'm going to try and use this summon stack to deal with these guys. Remember, Minotaur Lords are asleep for one more turn. The Dancers are going to get their turn right now, though. That was a rewind life onto the Hydra stack. That feels gross. Keep that thing far, far away from me. Don't want to see you ever do that again. How many Concubus did we start off with? 15 out of 22. So like if I was to do rewind life right now on this stack, I actually feel like they're a pretty good stack because what are they, tier 5 creatures? Tier 5 creatures, living ranged, and they could actually really help with some of these other creatures. We are doing reduced damage to the Hydras at the moment though. Is there what's the better spell? What's the best spell right now? 126 out of 162 spell points. Let's actually do the summon Star Children. I think that we've got the summon speciality. So we're summoning twice the amount. We're summoning 46 Star Children. That's actually a bunch. That's actually a bunch. Okay. Down to here. If I attack here, I'm going to lose this entire stack. These Jasper Dancers are going to do double damage in melee. They are going to absolutely obliterate me. I think I just want to sit right here and just prevent them from doing any damage to anybody else. Sounds crazy, but I think that's what we want to do. Okay. Oh, we killed 40 to 50 with these. Dude, these Arbitrators are insane. This is an insane amount of damage. 40 to 50. 40 to 50. 40 to 50. 40 to 50. That's so much damage. I don't think I need to use my little poke of doom. I think I'm just gonna... Oh my goodness. And look, here's the Star Children's AoE ability. So if I attack right here, I'm gonna hurt... Do I hurt myself? Does it hurt them? I don't know if it does or doesn't, but this looks like it's too juicy of a strike. Yeah, all right. Oops. Dang it. In case you didn't notice, so these Star Children, they're really good, but they do area strike damage. So it deals damage to the target and all hexes around it, whether friend or foe. I wasn't sure if that was friend or foe or not. It's my bad. My bad. Okay, well, we learned something new here. Thor in Denmark, use Rewind Life on the tier 7 units. I think that is going to be something we do pretty quickly. Yeah, I think that that's just too good of a spell. So it's the beginning of a new round. It's only going to return... let's see. It's not going to return that much HP, though. Yeah, 220 HP. That's not going to be even one full Abyssal Envoy. I think you're just better off summoning Star Children all day, every day, because you have the bonus summon power. Summons a stack of 13, and then 13 turns into 46 because we have all of our bonuses. Like, they're a really good unit, so I think we're just going to stay right there and do that again and again. Let's attack. Oh, they've got Vengeance on. Whoops, my bad. It's not good. We'll take this Retaliation, so that way these Riders can get full damage off in a second. I'm actually going to stand with the Grand Shoths in front of the Minotaurs, so that way they can't reach my back line. I don't think that they can get all the way around anyway. 9 to 10. Okay. AoE turret damage feels bad. Oh, not good. Minotaur Lords, they turned on the speed. They're full speed now. Oof. Oof. Better do some damage while we can. 226. 2 Hydras, just for free. We'll kill the third with the Cultists. And so now our ranged creatures can do ranged damage. Oof. All right, 1 to 2 of the Minotaurs. Gotta take them out, piece by piece. I can kill 9 to 13 of these Dancers, though. I just love Dancers so much, and they do so much damage. Okay, I think that the best thing to do now is to Command Fear this guy over to, let's call it like over here. And that way I can get my ranged damage off, 2 to 3. And then my Star Children can blast him from afar. Very good. 21, down to 19, down to 17. Oh, the morale's kicking in, down to 16, down to 15 of the Minotaur Lords. We are absolutely crushing these guys. They don't even have a chance. They don't even know which way is up or down or left or right. And hey, you know what we ought to do? With our 68 spell points left, we ought to summon Star Children yet again. Let's do it over here. Yeah, good luck dealing with all of these summons. Okay. Alrighty, I'm gonna sit these final 2 Shoth right here just to deal with these Dancers. Yeah, okay, perfect. And we're down to 5 of these Minotaurs. Good, folks. I think that we've done it. I think that we've done it. As scary as these forces were, and as much as the AI thought that we were absolutely going to lose this fight. In fact, the AI thought we were going to get absolutely crushed. AI didn't think that this was even going to be close to a fight. And it looks like we're turning this into a pretty okay victory. It's probably not pretty. I'm sure we could do a little bit more to make this even better, but I mean, considering that this is the final fight, this could be worse. Going to do full damage to the far range creatures. We're going to sacrifice a stack of 13. Not once. Well, we're going to keep them alive anyway. Twice. Down to 82 with the Troglodytes, 7 of the Jasper Dancers. The walls continue to be a bit of a problem. If we really get into a rough time, we can do some Rewind Life. Let's make sure that we still have some creatures available at the end of this. Let's start using the Rewind Lives. I think that we got enough creatures to survive. But I don't know what happens if both me and my enemy, I don't know what happens if we both have creatures left over or no creatures left over at the end of the fight. Oh, that's bad. Jeez. Heroic Strikes. We can kill 7. Let's kill 7. Kill 3. Okay. And if I attack, I'll kill the 3 Troglodytes. Will I do enough damage to take out the rest of these Concubus? I think I will. I don't think I can attack. Because if I attack the Troglodytes, will I do 85 points of damage? Almost assuredly. 18 defense, 40 defense, 18 defense, 40 defense, 90 to 110 damage. 85 with the defense. I mean, this is more than double the defense. I'm going to hope that this is not going to kill the stack of Concubus, but we might be in the position where we both lose our heroes, and maybe I lose the game because of this. Folks, will we lose the game because of this? Didn't have to find out. Concubus survived with 1 HP left. We finished this fight with summons and 1 Concubus left, but we defeat Ylwari, and we claim victory. What a fun end. What a fun end. I was not planning on that being so sketchy, but we ended up able to defeat Ylwari with the use of 40 Star Children summons, not once, not twice, but 3 times, 1 rewind life, making great use of the Arbiter's push and pull abilities, 2 sleeps to try and prevent major damage from the Dancers and from the Minotaurs. Wow. Weird fight. Just win, baby. Just win. When the castle walls are doing that much damage, I will be happy to survive with 1 single creature left. And I wish that there was post-game stats. There's not. We're just a victory screen. So, very cool stuff. Oh, the enemy's out of mana. Soren, I didn't even notice that they were out of mana, but I'm very happy that they were because we needed to prevent that. AI does not use magic on auto-resolve. You're very correct on that. That's part of the reason why the AI lost so badly. As it stands, though, I mean, it was pretty close margins, I'm sure. I'm positive I could have fought that fight better. At this point, I don't know the most intricate and cool and impactful ways of using might and magic to win these fights. I'm still learning, so for a first-time learner's experience, that felt pretty okay. Frodo the Blind says, it seems that the creators of Olden Era used the quality of life features from F Heroes 2 in battle. Is it the same on the exploration side of the map? It's tough to say. I think that they've already mentioned, somebody else has mentioned that they are planning on completely reworking the user interface. They've gotten feedback, and so they're reworking the user interface. We've gotten some feedback from Mushanki Pei, who says that some of the adventure map spells that they are difficult to use at times. So there's some issues with. There's lots of things. They're still being reworked on. There's some features that I found with Olden Era where I'm like, ooh, that's nice. And then there's a couple that I feel like are missing. The big feature that's missing for me is the ability to end the battle and let the computer auto-resolve it from that point when I know I can't fight the fight any better. I'm still waiting for that, but I'm sure that they will get to that at some point. McFall says, nice one. Yeah, nice one. We will take it. Soren says, hey, it all counts. A victory is a victory. A win is a win. McFall says you can turn on magic usage in auto resolve. Actually, I have seen that. And I don't think I'm going to do that because then the next fight I try to fight, I'll be like, hey man, where did my 500 spell points go? Steeson says, wow, thou art still gaming. Steeson, I think that this is going to be the end. We've been streaming for about 3.5 hours. I think this was really fun. But with this playthrough completed, I think that we're going to call it a day. So Steeson, you caught us in the middle of the playthrough and you caught us here at the very end. But I'm grateful that we got to see you, Steeson. Steeson, no! Steeson, isn't it like 2 or 3 in the morning where you're at? Shouldn't you go to bed? I will miss you, but yes, Steeson. Sorry for missing you. Warren says, yes, they told it on the Ubisoft Twitch channel for the promotion of Olden Era that they are reworking some of the UIs. Okay, that makes sense. Soren, Steeson, McFall, Frodo, and everybody else who we have gotten the opportunity to spend time with. E-Bugle, Vami's been here, a whole bunch of great people. Mushanki Pei, bunch of really nice people. Furfine, thank you for everybody who's spent the time here. It's always a pleasure to have you here. The pleasure is always mine. Where you are, near and far, thank you all very, very kindly for spending the time here with Olden Era in this great new game.